So what did we discuss in our previous class? Which chapter are we on currently? Nobody is answering anything. Which scripture are we reading? Gita. Who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Lord Krishna. Okay, we'll have this warm-up question, so everyone starts talking. And then we'll ask, what did we discuss? These are non-negotiable. These answers. Okay. We discussed Founder-Acarya of chapter 3. There's some, the kids need to be kept quiet. There is some murmuring disturbing. Please keep them quiet. If it's not becoming possible, please take them out. Founder-Acarya of the third chapter of Karma Yoga. So what is the Founder-Acarya?
Anyone who reads chapter 3 will go straight to Vaikuntha.
That is true for all the
relatives, forefathers,
huh?
the relatives who from the cycle of birth.
Yes. So specifically in this context, relieving, even if our forefathers have been sinful, which is usually true for most of our forefathers. In Kali Yuga it's like that, because our forefathers are also born in Kali Yuga. So if you believe that they may necessarily not be in Golok Vrindavan as a Manjari or a Gopi, then third chapter of Karma Yoga is relevant for such people, such descendants. We can deliver them. Okay. So please read third chapter regularly. What else?
By jnana, you renounce the work. And we saw the difference between Sankhya Yoga and Buddhi Yoga. Sankhya Yoga is based on philosophical speculation, and Buddhi Yoga is Krishna Consciousness. Sankhya Yoga is indirect path, and Buddhi Yoga, Krishna Consciousness is direct path.
Yeah.
Dependence on personal endeavor and Krishna's mercy for Krishna Consciousness. In the Sankhya Yoga, you are unsure of your success. The Buddhi Yoga, success is
Assured.
sure. And
Where does the Lord assure? Bhagavad Gita. Madhyaji. Mahaprabhu. Satyam te. This is not Satyam computers. That Satyam became Asatyam. But this is Satyam, Krishna's promise. Satyam te pratijane priyasima.
We also discussed on the cheat.
Mithyachari. Yeah. We talked about saints and swindlers from Gaurang Prabhu's class. What are the 5 types of swindlers? Charlatans, hoaxer, egotist, abuser and transgressor. We saw different categories. And we took examples of each and every category and we provided some refutation for each of those. What else?
Actually, in this third
I think
chapter,
there is no qualification is required to get into the bhakti, and whereas the other yogas and other things, the person has to get some qualification to get into.
Very good point.
following one's own varnashrama is better than being a charlatan educated.
Very good. That was a key point. So no need to worry about taking sannyas or vanaprasth, whatever. Simply do Krishna consciousness. Execute the duties of Grihasthashram. Take our job seriously. Don't do something stupid on the job so that we end up losing our jobs or whatever. Right? Take it seriously. Take care of family and children. But of course, please understand that that is not the goal of life. That's what Krishna is telling all of us. So do your familiar responsibilities with love and detachment, both. And then keep the goal of Krishna consciousness as supreme in our lives, regardless of whichever ashram that we take. It's not important. Better that laudably we accept Grihastha ashram and be a sincere Grihastha in Krishna consciousness, rather than try to jump the gun and try to don some sannyasa robe or whatever without having the necessary purification. And after that, then trying to get into one of those categories, CHEATs. Anything else?
So actually in the start of this chapter what we understood is Arjuna was in a confused state because in verse number 248 Krishna says keep all abominable activities far distanced by Bhakti Yoga. So Arjuna he's trying to be more intelligent. His understanding of Bhakti Yoga means go to a secluded place and perform devotion. But actually we see that the continuance of this chapter is a person, without that complete consciousness, if he is trying to renounce, we have gone through what are the different stages, what happens when, and you very elaborately explain about lust, anger, envy. Even though we go to a secluded place, these things will not leave us, they will always attack us.
So that's a point, right? So we go from verses 3.10 to 3.16. So we are going to do 7 verses today, and these 7 verses will start our journey on the yoga ladder. So we'll get our first exposure to yoga ladder, and which is what is going to be elaborated in the next few chapters of Bhagavad Gita. Before that, class begins at 10:30. Okay, and on Saturdays the class begins at 7 o'clock. Because some people have this view that if the class begins at 7, I will come at 7:15. Okay. And if the class begins at 10:30, I will come at 10:45. So that is not the correct mood of attending any course. Such people will go nowhere in their Bhakti Sastri endeavor. If we deliberately do that. If incidentally it happens, it's okay. Because obviously we will have some schedules here and there, but deliberately we must not undermine the importance of Kirtan which is done before the class. Text 10. In the beginning of creation, the Lord of all creatures sent forth generations of men and demigods, along with sacrifices for Vishnu, and blessed them by saying, "Be thou happy by this yajna or sacrifice, because its performance will bestow upon you everything desirable for living happily and achieving liberation." Anandar Babu, you want to read?
The material creation by Lord of creatures, Vishnu, is a chance offered to the conditional souls to come back home, back to Godhead. All living entities within the material creation are conditioned by material nature because of the forgetfulness of their relationship to Vishnu or Krishna. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Vedic principles are to help us understand this eternal relations as it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita. And the Lord says that the purpose of Vedas is to understand Him. In Vedic hymns it is said, therefore the Lord of the living entities in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu is the Vishnu. In the Srimad Bhagavatam also, Sukadeva Swami describes the Lord as Pati in so many ways. The Prajapati is the Lord Vishnu, and he is the Lord of all living creatures, all words, all duties, all the protector of everyone. The Lord created this material world to enable the conditioned souls to learn how to perform yajnas or sacrifices for the satisfaction of Vishnu, so that while in the material world they can live very comfortably without anxiety, and after finishing the present material body, they can enter into the kingdom of God. This is the whole program of the conditioned soul. By performance of yajna, the conditioned souls gradually become Krishna consciousness and become godly in all respects. In the age of Kali, the Sankirtana Yajna, the chanting of the holy names of God, is recommended by the Vedas, scriptures, and this transcendental system was introduced by Lord Chaitanya for deliverance of all men in this age. Sankirtana Yajna and Krishna consciousness go well together. Lord Krishna in his devotional form, as Lord Chaitanya, is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam 11.532 as follows, with special reference to the Sankirtana Yajna. In this age of Kali, people who are endowed with sufficient intelligence will worship the Lord, who is accompanied by his associates by performance of Sankirtana Yajna. Others yajnas prescribed in the Vedic lectures are not easy to perform in this age of Kali. But the Sankirtana Yajna is easy and sublime for all purposes, as recommended in Bhagavad Gita, also 9.14.
What are the points here?
Sankirtana is very powerful and easy to put.
It is a recommended process in the age of Kali.
All the sacrifices which is given to any god, it also belongs to Lord Vishnu.
Vishnu is the enjoyer of Vishnu is the enjoyer of all yajnas and all sacrifices.
It is said here that be happy by doing yajna, and then yajna has been prescribed later on that in this age of Kali, yajna is Sankirtana yajna along with Krishna consciousness, and this is the only process for the goal of happiness to be achieved.
The purpose of all the Vedic Vedas is to know Krishna. Vedas teacher.
Say that why Lord has created the material world, so that a conditioned soul can come to the material world, learn how to perform the yajna, Sankirtana yajna, and then go back to Godhead. That is the whole idea of this material world.
That is the central point. So what Kiran Prabhu said, that is the central point of this whole paragraph. As to why this material world has been created, what is the goal, and how to gradually attain that goal. So that is the theme of this whole passage. And of course, finally culminating in the easiest process that we have been given. So it's forming this purport is laying the basis for yoga ladder being spoken in the subsequent verses.
So one more point is, Prabhupada is saying this is the yajna refers to Sankirtana yajna. Even Krishna is saying later that yajnanam japa is most. I think japa is some listed for this.
Any other point?
Lord Chaitanya along with the associate specifically come to establish this Sankirtan movement for us to understand the devotional aspect.
Okay. So, a lot has been spoken on Nishkama Karma Yoga. In the previous sections, Lord Krishna is continuously giving this message, perform Nishkama Karma Yoga. So, a question can arise in someone's mind, and it arose in Arjuna's mind also, as to what about those people who cannot come to the platform of Nishkama Karma Yoga. Because to come to the platform of Nishkama Karma Yoga needs two things. What does it need? One is it needs some kind of renunciation. Because it says that renounce the fruits of your activities. That is Nishkama Karma Yoga. Right? So there has to be some idea of renunciation. The whole world is more going in the direction of indulgence and not renunciation, like that. So there has to be some concept of renunciation for being a Nishkam Karma Yogi. Number 2, there has to be a driver to perform that renunciation. There has to be some driver, isn't it? Which means there has to be a goal to attain having performed renunciation. Sorry, Mandir. So there has to be a driver to perform that renunciation. Who is that driver? Somebody who we think is above us, who needs to be attained. Right? Whoever that person may be. It may be Indra, it may be Varuna, Chandra, right? Lord Ganesh, or it could be Krishna, Vishnu. I don't know exactly. But at least I know that there is somebody above me who is a goal for me based on my realization. So there are 2 things that is required. So a person who is too attached to material life, a question can come. How can such a person perform Nishkama Karma Yoga? So how to bring these 2 things gradually? How to develop renunciation, the spirit of renunciation, the attitude of renunciation, the habit of renunciation, how to cultivate that gradually, how to develop our consciousness in such a way that this consciousness will subordinate to somebody. It may not be Krishna initially to begin with. It may be anybody, right? So these 2 things are important. So this is a question that someone can come, and that is why Lord Krishna is now engaging in this conversation to explain to Arjuna how this process happens. So here quite a lot so from these verses you will see quite a lot of karma kanda being discussed. Vedic karma kanda. The Vedas have got different sections. Karma kanda followed by Jnana kanda followed by Upasana kanda. So like that the Vedas is dealing with 4 subject matters: Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. So in the initial sections the Vedas is talking about karma kanda. Now who is the karma kanda process relevant for? For those people who have no idea of how to elevate themselves. Most of the people are in, today most of mankind is in animal life. What does an animal eat? Based on its nature it eats. A tiger based on its nature eats other animals. A goat eats grass. A cow never eats, beef or whatever. Unless it is, nowadays that's also happening. Forcefully they are feeding the cows, right? But otherwise, the animals don't violate the laws of nature. Based on the 3 modes, whatever they have been destined to eat, they are eating. In that sense, actually, they are much more superior. Human beings are slightly below this nowadays. I forgot to draw it, so I apologize. So we are somewhere below here, below animal life, right? Because even an animal discriminates what it should eat and what it should not eat. It's only human beings who do not discriminate at all. I was speaking to someone the other day and he's saying, I am born in Brahmana family. But it's fine. I'm okay. I'm flexible. I eat anything that moves. So, this is seen as being flexible in society. Okay? This is nonsense, right? It's how about someone talks like this? That's okay. It's my wife or someone's wife. I'm flexible. Is it flexibility? Right? So, it's almost saying like that. Tomorrow that will also happen. Tomorrow, the way degradation is there, that will also be true. Anybody will go around with anyone, saying that it's all flexible. I don't have rigid views in my life. People think like that. People think that having values is actually not a virtue. Right? And not having values is being flexible, is being very adjusting to the times of the world today. That is a problem. But actually, human beings, because of this attitude, have fallen below animal life. At least they live within the laws of nature. It is only we who try to transgress the laws of nature. And that's why so many problems are happening. Not only are we unregulated, we are also encouraging the animals to become unregulated. Therefore, we are feeding beef to a cow, of which a cow doesn't eat. But we are beating the cow and telling it, you must eat this. You starve the cow and make it eat this, for whatever reasons. And then we complain when someone dies of mad cow disease, the person is saying, when God is there, why diseases are there? This is big lectures people will give after that. But actually we are the ones who are ruining our life. In some lecture I heard that the only problem in olden days was dying by snake bite. But nowadays, death can come because of so many other reasons. It can come because of cell phone radiation also. Right? So Lord did not say that, cell phone is required to succeed in life, to attain the goal of life. It is not required. But we have complicated our lives, and because of it, so many physical problems and mental problems we are having. So therefore, with all these problems and with a disturbed mind, people cannot adopt the path of Nishkama Karma Kanda. It's not possible. Nishkama Karma Yoga, they cannot adopt. So people have to be given a gradual process. So therefore, the Vedic Karma Kanda system has been established to satisfy our lusty desires or whatever that desires we have, material desires, in a Vedic manner, in a religious way. Take shelter of religion to do your sense gratification, so that whatever attachments that we have will be gradually purified. Please understand the word. How it will be purified? Gradually purified. So no problem. If you want to enjoy your senses, enjoy, but at least enjoy under the realm of under the umbrella of the scriptures. Like that. So recently we are studying the 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. We are studying the section from 14th chapter till the end of the 6th canto. So in 14th chapter, Sukadeva Goswami is being asked a very interesting question by Maharaj Parikshit. Sukadeva Goswami is being asked that Vritasur was a demon. Now all of you, I don't know whether everyone knows Vritasur pastime, but please understand that he was a demon, but actually he was actually a devotee. His body was that of a demon, but he was speaking devotional, he was speaking like a devotee to Lord Krishna, to Indra. And Indra, though externally looking like a devotee, was trying to kill him so he can continue his rule over a kingdom. Like that. He saw Vritasura as a threat to his existence and to the existence of his praja. Like that. So in that context, Parikshit Maharaj is asking Sukadeva Goswami in the next section. He's saying, who was that Vritasur? He was a demon, but how can such a person speak such words like a devotee? How can a demon speak like a devotee? So, and further, Maharaj Parikshit is asking this question. You told me earlier that to become a devotee, to come to the platform of, what is the platform of a devotee? Shuddha Sattva, or transcendental pure mode of goodness. So Parikshit Maharaj is telling him, you told me that for a devotee to come to transcendental mode of goodness, he should not be in mode of ignorance or mode of passion. You told me earlier that the mode of goodness is the springboard from where one can go to transcendental mode of goodness. Then how come someone from the Rakshasa Kul, how can he speak directly pure mode of goodness? This is a question that he is asking. And the conversation, Prabhupada is writing purports. In fact, it is there in the translation as well, but Prabhupada is expounding in the purports that if you see the number of living entities in this world, so many living entities are there in this world. Infinite living entities are there in this world. Right? 8.4 million species, out of which ants itself is infinite. Mosquitoes are infinite. Flies are infinite. At least if I say, maybe seahorse, then maybe you can count. Maybe. Who knows? Pacific Ocean, nobody knows how many seahorses are there. Actually, that is also infinite. Right? The whales. So many living entities are there. Every single body has got a soul inside that. And if you see the human population, that is 7 billion. It's very rare. Human form of life divided by this infinite population of living entities is very rare. So out of so many living entities, very few are anyway getting a human form of life. In your business warehouse consultant, in your business warehouse, you filter, right? With this filter itself, you have filtered only 7 billion out of infinity. Just imagine, such a big filter you have put to come to the human platform of life, right? Now, out of these human people who are in the human platform of life, most are atheistic. Most people are in animal life. They have nothing to do with, they have never read the scriptures. They don't believe in God. Okay. Right? Most of them, they don't believe in religion. Religion is taboo, okay, to them. Don't tell me all these things. Let me continue whatever. So, most of mankind is that. So again you put your filter criteria. And how many will come out who believe in religion? Maybe, let's say even 10% of human population believes in religion. So 90% of human population is already out in that. Now, out of these people, this 10% of people, who are these 10% of people? They are these people who have some understanding of religion and God. They at least want to follow some religion. They may follow Islam, they may follow Christianity, they may be Hindus who are visiting 50,000 temples. That is a different thing. Some religion they are following. Right? Out of these people who are following religion, this 10%, very, very few, maybe 1% of them are interested in liberation, mukti. 1% out of that, maybe interested in liberation. Most of them, go back to your parents. Unless for those people whose parents have become devotees, ask them what is the goal of life. Why are we doing all these pujas? No, puja we will do so that, ayuram, arogyam, udyoga prapti bhava, this is what they will say. Mostly they will say. And the Brahmana who comes to your house, he will also say like that. Oh, they will say. May you, I don't know what you mean by that, but it's something like, even when you pay obeisances to your relatives, they will say, Melum promotion agatam. May you get more and more promotions in office. Just one concept people have. You fall at their feet and they will say, may you get promotion. More and more promotion. Now it's a different issue whether they mean it or not mean. Because were you to really get promotion and become a big man, then what about their son? Then their son will become lesser than ours. Isn't it? But still people will just give lip service. May you become a big man in life. They don't actually, nobody is actually wishing, very few people may wish. Okay. But even if they wish, this is the maximum they can go up to. They can say, may you get more promotion, may you get long life, and may you have very happy sense gratification. So pardon? Santana prapti rastu. Yes. May you have a lot of children. May you have a lot of children. Right? Like that. So people can't lift themselves even below that. So you put another filter there. So out of all these people who believe in blessings, see, who can bless? Only that person who believes in some divine intervention outside matter can believe in the concept of a blessing. The concept of a blessing comes from the fact that, otherwise you can ask, scientifically what came out of your hand when you blessed? How do I know that my promotion is coming out bang from your hand? So subconsciously they think that by my blessing there is something called as goodwill, there is some nature, something is happening, some dynamics, interplay of things will happen in the cosmos to bring that promotion to your footstep. Like that. So there is some concept of outside of matter. And then some people are actually thinking that I will pray to God that you get Santana Prapti Rastu. Right? You may get more and more children. So there some God thing is coming now. Some religion, some godliness is coming. So these people will also go to temple, various different temples. They will go to this demigod, they will go to that demigod, right? And sometimes they will hedge themselves also, like foreign currency dealers. They will say that, okay, I will go to Ayyappan Sabarimalai also. Then at the same time, I will go to Sai Baba also. Then I will go to, what are the other things that people go to? Tirupati also. Yes, Tirupati also we should go to. Yeah, because Vishnu is also there. Otherwise he may get angry. Okay. Then I will go to the local Baba also. But then finally after doing all this, they will say, whatever it is, Kula Devata, you should never give up. Okay. And then when the marriage is being arranged between the husband and wife, then they will say that there is Kala Sarpa Dosham. So let us go to Kala Hasti and do this. So, Manorathena Sati Dhavato Bhaji. They will be running everywhere. Wherever the mind takes, that temple they will end up in. Like that. The whole idea is, oh my dear Lord, whoever you may be, either you may be God or you may be God. Look, I don't have anything to really do with both of you. At the end of the day, my sense gratification should continue. Yesterday I was seeing, a newspaper, in the headlines, there is one temple in Bombay, very famous temple, called as Prabhadevi Ganesh Temple. Anyone from Bombay, they will know this. Okay, there all the film stars had gone, and then the lady is receiving. I don't want to name the film star because I am on camera, but this film star is like that. She is bent down, and somebody is giving, prasadam to her, whatever flowers and whatever, and there is one basket nearby, and all the ladies, she's scantily clad obviously in that CD, and then her own CDs are being released, and they have left a CD in the temple. Okay, and then further, some other temple news was coming. They are saying it's become a nuisance with these film stars. They come to every temple and leave their CDs behind there. Okay, so this is our worship. Oh God, look, I have come all the way to Prabha Devi. I may not come again in this lifetime, but please understand I am a busy person. I have got so many movie releases now. But Lord, see, despite being a busy person, I have come to you, Lord Ganesha. Now I have kept these CDs here. Please remove Vighna Vinayaka. Remove any obstacles to people not seeing this CD. So let everything flourish. Therefore, I may continue to believe in you. Otherwise, if I don't come next time, don't blame me. Because see, I came to you. I put, in fact, I have given 2 lakh donation also. Because the Pujari called me before everyone else in the queue. So this is the mentality. This is not bhakti. But such people, at least, what is happening? At least they went to look at the other glorious side of it. Half the people don't go to the temple, but at least this film star went to the temple. She doesn't know what is the goal of life. She doesn't know who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. She has no idea of liberation. All she is attached to is the sale of her CDs. That is the goal of life for her. So that I become the topmost heroine in Bollywood, right? So with whatever desires, she has gone there. Still, that is glorious than those people who never approach even a demigod for their sense gratification and who continue to do the same thing in animal life. You can also adopt other procedures, right? You can go to the distributor, you can place a gun and his and then say that there are some CDs incidentally, I just want to request you, very humbly I am requesting you to, please distribute this. You should be promoting. If 1 lakh CDs don't go out by tomorrow, you know what happens to your wife and children. That is another way of promoting the CDs. There are people who are doing that also, right? But at least this lady is not doing that. She is going to Ganesh temple. So in that sense, there is an ocean of difference between both. One is not adopting to the laws of God. One is at least operating within the realms of karma kanda. So please understand that. So that is the mood of today's whole section. It is these people who we are talking about, who want to enjoy, but they are okay to accept some authority. So So Maharaj Parikshit is telling him that animal life, and then out of most of the animal species, few are human birth. Out of the few human birth, very few are interested in religion. Out of those people like this who are interested in religion, very few understand the goal of life and want to get liberation. Very few understand that they are not the body, they are the soul. Further filter after that. Out of those few people who understand liberation, very few actually get liberated. Others, what happens? They simply don the saffron robe, they try to attempt some liberation, and then they again fall down into the animal species after that. We have seen, so this Swami, that Swami, sex scandal, this, that, again people will fall down, right? So out of those people who are attempting that liberation, very few people actually attain that liberation. And out of those people who actually attain that liberation, one is a devotee of Narayana. Muktanam api siddhanam. What is the verse? Narayana parayana. Sudurlabha prashanta atma. Potishva api mahamune. Out of so many people, one becomes a devotee of Narayana, and that person is what? Sudurlabha. Very rare. So a devotee, so people who are sitting in this room are what? You are among the rarest of species. So congratulations to all of us. Rarest of species are sitting, who become devotee of Narayana, like that. Kotishva api mahamune. So if you see at every level of filter, everyone at the end of the day needs to be liberated, need to be brought to that platform. From an animal life, people have to be brought to religion. From a religious life, people have to be brought to the concept of liberation. From liberation, we have to tell them, boss, impersonal liberation is not the goal of life, because Krishna is a person. So worship the personal form of the Lord, and then that's where all of us started our Krishna consciousness. And then there are many lifetimes to then go back to Godhead, having purified. After that starts the serious business of lust, anger, envy, greed, pride, everything starts after starting the process of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Till we come to that platform, we are really not back. No, we are on the slow track, but we are not on the fast track to going back to Godhead. We will see that later. So, Prabhupada also writes in this purport, what is the cause of our conditioning in the material world? 10:30 our class started, right? Srila Prabhupada also writes, what is the cause of our conditioning in the material world? So, what is the cause of conditioning in the material world? Why did we fall down into this material world? Because we wanted to enjoy separately from Krishna. The desire to enjoy is not demonic. Why? Because it is the nature of the soul to be Satchidananda. The soul always wants to be happy. So there is no problem in the desire to enjoy. We want to enjoy separately from Krishna. Ravana wanted Sita without Ram. That was his basic problem, right? So we want to enjoy the external energy of Krishna. We want to enjoy like the Lord. We don't want to enjoy with the Lord. That is our problem, right? So therefore, the Lord says, you will not be able to do it till you get forgetfulness of me. So therefore, what is the verse in 15.15? Sarvasya Chaham. Not that King of Manipur verse. Okay. Sarvasya Chaham Ridhi Sannivishto. It's not Chaham actually, it's Sarvasya Cha Aham. Ridhi Sannivishto. So I am inside all of you. Mattaha Smriti Jnanam Apohanam Cha. From me comes remembrance, knowledge and forgetfulness. So the Lord says, hang on, you can't surrender to me. Okay, so but you want to enjoy separately, fine, but I will give you my forgetfulness, so that then you can at least enjoy. So my thoughts will not disturb you. Oh, there is somebody above me. So you can think that you are the controller, you are the doer, you are a self-made man or self-made woman. Whatever you want, you can think and you can continue being like that. Right? So mattaha smriti jnanam apohanam cha. So therefore, the Lord himself gives forgetfulness through the agency of Mahamaya. Through the agency of Mahamaya, he puts us in control of the external energy. And then, therefore, we think that we are the controllers of our destiny. Everyone thinks like that. Right? And people who achieve something, they also think that I am self-made man. Like that. Who is self-made man? If the oxygen supply would have stopped when they were 15 years old, would they have lived to say I am a self-made man? Oxygen was supplied by which company? Water is given by which Viara Valley Corporation? Right? Where natural resources are coming? Where is apple? Who gave you apples, fruits, vegetables? Where are they coming from? So, but people forget all this and talk foolishly that I am a self-made man. It doesn't mean anything. So, because of this conditioning, desire to separately enjoy from Krishna, therefore we have come to this, we have been relegated to this material world. So Prabhupada is also writing in this purport indicating what is the purpose of the material creation. So Srila Prabhupada is saying that the purpose of material creation is to initially enjoy this material world, but after that slowly also realize the sufferings that this material world has got. And gradually, now still, despite that suffering, people still want to enjoy this material world. Karunanidhi Prabhu was saying, in morning Bhagavatam class, if you attended, he was saying that despite that, people still want to do research and devise different ways by which they can enjoy this material world. We know this material world is there and it's a place of misery. But we are saying, oh, no problem, my dear Lord, let me rot, don't disturb me now. Okay. I will find some way of finding happiness in an abode where you have anyway decided that we cannot be eternally happy. So this is a demonic mentality which we have. Now, what to do of such people who are in ignorance? Therefore, they have to be brought slowly. Right? Otherwise, what will happen if the Lord simply leaves such people? Okay, I will see you. If you go there, you wanted to enjoy, you see if you can enjoy it. You have left me, now I will see how you enjoy. This is a human mentality. But Lord is our Supreme Father. Today is Father's Day, right? So He is our Supreme Father. A father will not leave the son or daughter like that. Even if the son or daughter disobeys the father and goes out, the father may be heavy, saying that, I don't want to see your face again or something like that he may say. But actually he doesn't mean it. He'll still work somewhere in the background to ensure that the child is coming back to the right track. Relentlessly he'll work towards that. The parents will work. Right? So our Supreme Father also wants to work on us relentlessly. So He says that, okay, fair enough. You have also made a choice that you want to forget me, but you are going into this material world, I will come with you there. Not only that, I will give you what is called as the Vedas along with that, which has got a process called as Karma Kanda. So slowly, when you start suffering, you will definitely then start realizing that, yeah, actually, my Supreme Father was right. But then you have already forgotten me, so you wouldn't know who is the Supreme Father. So you will start searching for me indirectly, and through the process of karma kanda, gradually, then you can attain me. That is why the Lord says, Vedaischa sarvair aham sarva vedya vedanta krit vedavidevacha aham. So he says that ultimately you will search everywhere and come to the conclusion that you will come back to me. So he has kept a very beautiful cycle. He has given us facilitation in the form of the Vedas for people who want to go on the slow track. Just like even in schools, we have a program which is called as educational program for regular children. Then we have called what is called as in Australia, SEAL program, which is the accelerated program for children who are more advanced than others in studies, like that. Okay. So there are two tracks. So Lord Krishna is also giving. For the slow children, there is Karma Kanda. And for the accelerated children, there is Bhakti Yoga. So Bhakti Yoga is a SEAL program, accelerated learning program. So, yeah.
Quick question on the Karma Kanda. I'm not sure where, I'm a little bit confused. Not sure where this Karma Kanda fits into the Yoga ladder or into the Bhakti as well.
I'll come to that. Okay. So, benefits of Yagyas. Okay, sorry. So, the purpose of material creation, therefore, is that slowly the conditioned soul starts connecting to the Lord. Maybe I'm already answering your question in one sense. Slowly starts connecting to the Lord. What is yoga? Yoga comes from the word yuj. We have discussed many times. What is yuj? Yuj means to connect. To connect with who? To connect with the Supreme. Right? So the connecting process can be slow or fast. That is a different topic. But you are connecting. In a shopping mall, you want to go to 10th floor. You can take the staircase. Still you are going up. There is no doubt. You cannot say, no, I am not going up by side. You are going up. Unless you are going to the basement. It's a different thing. But assuming you are climbing in the staircase from level 1, you are going up. Right? So you are going up. The same going up can also happen if you take an escalator. The same going up can happen if you take an elevator. So whoever is in a hurry will take the elevator. Whoever generally wants to, go around seeing what is there in every floor. Gusi watches. Kanjivaram saris. Cameras. Latest iPhones. Every floor. Sometimes we don't go to shop. We just go for the experience of. There is some window shopping. Yes. After that we may buy a brinjal from South Melbourne market and come home. That is a different issue. But we will still go and observe the, Bivil Gary necklace. Bivil Gary, how do you pronounce it? BVL Gary. Yeah. We like to see all that. Right? So that is which process? Escalator. But escalator still is moving at a fast speed. Right? Even so there is a slower process than that also, which is the staircase. Okay. There what you can do, you can meet 5 people also. You can sit and talk, Hare, how are you? Kya chal raha hai? Or another climb to say, how are you? And then you can go and see the Bivil Gary watch. Then you can meet another 10 people in the staircase. Then again, so there is a fast, slow and slowest process. But still you are going up. So this is like that, the yoga ladder. So for the slow people, there is a chance that gradually they will get detached. So that is the purpose of material creation. That's why all this Karma Kanda has been given. Also, Prabhupada is writing what are the benefits of doing such yagyas. So, Srila Prabhupada says benefit is what? Performing such yagyas mitigates sinful reaction. Does it make sense? It mitigates sinful reaction, therefore reducing your misery and increasing your happiness quotient in this life. I gave you an example. Oh my dear Lord, I want to marry that girl. She is so beautiful in college. But my parents are saying horoscope not matching. Oh Lord, please do something. Okay, astrologer comes. Okay, what do you want? Sir, please kuch to karo yaar. So I will give you anything. 300 rupees I will give you. Okay, no, 300 will not come nowadays. During my time I give 300 rupees. Serious this part. Okay. Pardon me? That's what I'm saying. Erase. Why do you have to ask that again? Erase that also.
Should I tell Mataji?
She knows it.
Mataji knows this.
So we try to do,
Maybe your mom.
So, what happens if we want to marry this person and then the horoscopes are not matching and then we are miserable, right? So then we run to the demigods. Then you, for example, I gave that, Kala Sarpa Dosh, if you have snake problem in your horoscope. I don't know what is that exactly, but something like that. Okay. So then you have to go to that place and you have to fall at the feet of, that many snakes that are there in Kalahasti. And then say, oh, please, snake Bhagwan, please don't come in between me and my sense gratification. Okay. May you be happy. See, I have now offered nice things to you. Like that. So therefore, now why this Kala Sarpa Dosham was there originally? Why did you have to fall in love with a girl who is having Kala Sarpa Dosham or whatever that dosham is? Right? This is because of our past karma. Because of our past karma, then we had this. Maybe, I killed one snake in the last lifetime when it did not even bite me. Right? I don't know what I did, but something I did because of which now I am in a situation where I am getting trouble because of a snake in this lifetime. Therefore, what I am trying to do is, I am trying to do that particular karmakandic process by which I am mitigating my sinful reaction. Please concentrate on this word. I am only mitigating my sinful reaction. But after marrying that girl, another snake comes again, I may hit. That is a different issue. My desire to offend snakes has not gone away by my doing the Kala Sarpa Dosham or whatever. My desire to sin has not gone away till now. All I am trying to do is that because I want to do some sense gratification, my stars are not cooperating with me, therefore I am doing some shanti process. Correct? But the desire to sin has not gone. Therefore, Prabhupada writes here that the benefit of such yagyas is to reduce the misery coming out of sinful reaction. And then gradually lifting the soul thereafter. Thereafter the soul will think, okay, I have mitigated the reaction, but still, I am still addicted to killing animals. What do I do about that? Then somebody will come and tell you, Haribol, Prabhuji, don't worry about that. You have problem of meat eating, don't worry. Come, chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. By doing that, then gradually your desire to do that sin will also go away. Right? So therefore, then the desire to sin has gone. There is no question of reaction being stored for future lifetimes. Right? So, this is the benefit of performing yajna. Now, unless we perform such yajna, there will be no peace in the world because everyone is going to be unhappy in this world. Right? And then, Prabhupada also writes, because Krishna is the Lord of all living entities. There is an interesting purport in Srimad Bhagavatam 2.4.20. So you can take that as a homework for you and then go ahead and read that. About how the Lord is the Yagyapati. Whatever that we do, even this Kala Sarpa Dosham, Yagya, whatever you do, at that time when we did that, we were not devotees. Right? But what happened? We were not devotees, but still the benefit of the Yagya went to Lord Vishnu somehow. Because Lord Vishnu is Bhoktaram Yagatapasam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. He is the supreme beneficiary of all austerities and sacrifices. So indirectly it goes to him. I don't know that it may go to him. Just like when my company deducts tax at, tax deduction at source. Right? I may not know that the money which I have put has gone to build the tar road on Albert Park Road. I may not know that it is from my money. But still it is going through a process which is unseen. When I put the letter in the post box, I may not know how it travels to Los Angeles, but I have to just put it in the post box, and I know that if it's a genuine post box, it will go to my friend in Los Angeles, like that. When I click the send button in yahoo.com and send that mail, I don't know where my message goes, through which wire it has gone and how it has gone, through which satellite has captured that. I don't know, but then it goes like that. So, when we perform Karma Kanda, we may not know how it goes to Lord Vishnu, but all yogic processes go to Lord Vishnu at the end of the day. Sankirtan Yagya, that is what is the conclusion of this particular purport, where Prabhupada says, okay, so many yagyas we are talking about, but all of us who are fools, in Kali Yuga, right, we need an easy process. So don't worry about doing 50,000 yagyas at all. Just perform Sankirtan Yagya, beginning with chanting the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This process was not invented by Srila Prabhupada. Okay, many people say, आपके ISKCON में तो वही बोलते हो आप लोग, Hare Krishna महामंत्र बोलने का, ये ISKCON में बोलते हो, And then some people will say that this ISKCON is full Bengali, culture, because Bengal mein somebody chanted, therefore you people are chanting. So many things, like, but I am from South India, therefore I will not chant. Like that. What is that? Lord Muruga. Somebody. Okay, but you tell a Punjabi, say, Vel Muruga. Tell Punjabi and see what he has to say. You tell, kya baat karta hai? he'll come to fight with you like that. Okay, he'll say what Vel Muruga, right? So each of us have our different. We are essentially we are not attached to God. We are attached to our place of birth. That is the problem. So we strongly identify. Oh, I am Telugu. I am Kannada. I am Tamilian. I am Iyengar. No? Yesterday also we saw some attachment was there. If girl has to be there, she has to be from Baniya family only. No, like that. So there is too much attachment to our place of birth and to our caste. So we think that everybody who is from our place of birth or from our caste are all people who have descended from Vaikuntha. Like that. Somehow we have that feeling, right? But then if someone says that, let's say someone from Punjab says, "मैं तो पंजाब का पुत्र हूँ, पंजाब की बात मत करना." Suppose someone tells like that, you tell him, are you getting along with your relatives who are also from Punjab? It's relatives की बात मत करो यार. Punjab ठीक है, but I am proud of Punjab except my relatives. Don't talk about them. So then in a different context, the same Punjabis don't make sense to one Punjabi. Or the same Tamilian doesn't make sense to another Tamilian when it comes to that, like that. Okay. So therefore, all this is just inside the mind. All these concepts are inside the mind. They have got nothing to do with the goal of life. They have nothing to do with what our real identity is as a spirit soul. So therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, keep it simple. You rascals, you don't have any brains, keep it simple. Just chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This is the easiest process by which you can remove all the nonsense inside your heart, know your real identity, undo your sinful reaction, burn your sinful reaction, develop a consciousness which has no proclivity to sin at all. Not only you are removing your sinful reaction, but you are also, the desire to sin is also going away. Not only that is happening, but love of Godhead is also manifesting on top of that. Being a sinless person doesn't mean that we can go back to Godhead. Please understand this. Being a sinless person is not enough to go back to spiritual world. Being a sinless person means what? That I am not accumulating any bad karma. But that is just karmic bank account. But we have to accumulate bhakti shukruti. To go back to Godhead, we have to develop love of Godhead. I cannot say, Yamuna Jivan Prabhu, from tomorrow I will not do anything bad against you. Till yesterday I was abusing you, but from tomorrow I will stop abusing. Automatically he will not say, oh Jagannath Ram Prabhu, you have stopped abusing me. You are my best friend now. He is not going to say like that. I can become his best friend only if I develop love for Yamuna Jivan Prabhu. After that, first I have to stop doing the negatives. Then I have to start doing the positives also, no? To develop love for you. On his birthday, I go with a cake or something. When he is not well, then I go and massage his feet. Then he will say, oh, this Jagannath Ram really cares for me, Therefore, I have developed love for him and affection. Then I am also developing love and affection. So therefore, I have to serve him in a particular way. Without that service, simply not sinning is not the greatest value in life. Or that is not a goal of life. That is just coming to the human platform of not sinning, like that. Okay, let's go further and see. And of course, towards the end, the praman of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the Supreme Personality of Godhead is also given here. Again, many people argue, ये तुम लोग चैतन्य महाप्रभु को भगवान क्यों बोलते हो यार? तुम लोग ISKCON वाला लोग बोलता है ऐसा. You ISKCON people, you are always telling Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, that is because some people even go to the extent. That is because Srila Prabhupada was from Bengal and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also Bengali. Therefore, one Bengali is glorifying the other. Actually, this is what I have heard all these things in my life. This is not exaggeration. I have heard like this. And mostly it will happen more so if you are from the south side. Because in India, generally the south side is very intolerant of the north and the north is very intolerant of the south. Like that. Okay. So either they fight in Bollywood movies. Okay. They try to contradict each other's culture. You will see that. It's very evident in India. Like that. Okay. But this is not about south, north, east or west. So the Shastrik Praman is given. Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam Sango Pangasta Parshadam Yagyair Sankirtanarpayar Yajanti Hisu Medasa. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is predicted in Srimad Bhagavatam. I am not saying it. Right? It is not a figment of imagination of someone from Bengal just to promote the state. Right? Otherwise the chief minister would have been the first person to become the devotee. Right? She is not taking it. Right? He or she may not take it. Right? But this is from the scriptures. Right? So we have to really study Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam, to understand who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, why did he come down into this material world, and then we will understand about his supremacy. Also, towards the end, Prabhupada is quoting 9.14. Which verse is that? 9.14. Anyone remember? The process of deliverance in Kali Yuga? Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantrasya dridavritah. Nama, yeah? Nitya yukta upasate. So always chanting the holy names. So nobody can claim to be a devotee of the Lord unless he has started taking the bead bag and started chanting. If he is saying, no, I will not chant and all that just because you are telling me, I know what to do, then the person will still remain in ignorance. You can't do anything about it. You can just say, Hari Bol, thank you very much. That's all. We can't force anyone. Can we force anyone to do anything? No. We can tell people, we can share our experience. Look, it has changed our life. We also used to eat meat. We also used to smoke. We also, used to have alcohol. But after putting the Narayana's name on our tongue, it has changed our lives and we have become happier. This is all we can say. But we cannot force someone at gunpoint. From tomorrow you should chant, otherwise I'll blow your head off. You can't say like that. Forcefully you cannot make anyone devotee. Of course, with our love and with prasadam, then yes, we can make people devotees like that. Okay. Number 11. The demigods being pleased by, text 11, the demigods being pleased by sacrifices will also please you. And thus, by cooperation between men and demigods, prosperity will reign for all. Sumana Mataji, you want to read?
The demigods are empowered administrators of material affairs. The supply of
The children have to be kept quiet.
the supply of air, light, water and all other benedictions for maintaining the body and soul of every living entity is entrusted to the demigods, who are innumerable assistants in different parts of the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Their pleasures and displeasures are dependent on the performance of yajnas by the human being. Some of the yajnas are meant to satisfy particularly demigods, but even in so doing, Lord Vishnu is worshipped in all yajnas as the chief beneficiary. It is stated also in the Bhagavad Gita that Krishna himself is the beneficiary of all kinds of yajnas. Therefore, ultimate satisfactions of the Yagnapati is the chief purpose of all yajnas. When these yajnas are perfectly performed, naturally the demigods in charge of the different departments of supply are pleased, and there is no scarcity in the supply of natural products. Performance of yajnas has many side benefits, ultimately leading to the liberations from material bondage. By performance of yajnas, all activities become purified. As it is stated in the Vedas, by performance of yajna, one's eatables become sanctified, and by eating sanctified foodstuffs, one's very existence becomes purified. By the purification of existence, finer tissues in the memory becomes sanctified, and when memory is sanctified, one can think of the path of liberation, and all these combined together lead to Krishna consciousness, the great necessity of present day society.
So what are the points here? Go ahead. Yeah.
Even by offering whatever yajna we do towards any demigod, ultimately the final beneficiary is Vishnu.
And how we mentioned in the previous verse that performance of yajna mitigates sinful reactions. Here Prabhupada is saying that the ultimate benefit is basically liberation from material bondage.
Yes.
So for the first time, reader who is reading Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada has given such a nice analogy how people normally Westerners criticize demigods and so many gods. He has given such a nice way of understanding that they're all in charge of the one person, like how Prabhupada used to be with all the ministers and the prime minister. And he was saying that also another point is that how if Lord is happy, everyone will be happy. Automatically, like once it's offered, everything falls into place.
Good point. Rajkumar.
This is very nicely explaining the key benefits of doing yajna, so that so all our material needs are fulfilled, and they can also be in a pure form, and also they can help us reach to Prajapati.
It also mentions the prasadam, the glorification of prasadam, and why we should have prasadam basically, and also gives us the thing why we should give prasadam for this.
It's the same point actually.
She stole your point.
Actually, how it works in our body.
So, yeah.
Sorry, it is said that demigods are actually the empowered administrators. They're not directly giving the boons to people who are actually worshipping them. So it's indirectly, it's coming from Krishna, but through the demigods if we worship the demigods. So as Mataji said, that next couple of verses also they mention that why we should eat only prasadam, otherwise non-prasadam is eating sins only.
That's what we're going to do. We're going to read the next verse and take both together. Let's read the next verse also. And
why it is said like performance of yajnas has many side benefits?
We'll come to that. In charge of the various, I'm reading 12, so we'll take 11 and 12 together for discussion. In charge of the various necessities of life, the demigods being satisfied by the performance of yajna or sacrifice will supply all necessities to you. But he who enjoys such gifts without offering them to the demigods in return is certainly a thief. So, Dinavatsala Prabhu, can you read the first paragraph?
The demigods are authorized supplying agents on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu. Therefore, they must be satisfied by the performance of prescribed yajnas. In the Vedas, there are different kinds of yajnas prescribed for different kinds of demigods, but all are ultimately offered to Supreme Personality of Godhead. For one who cannot understand what the Personality of Godhead is, sacrifice to the demigods is recommended. According to the different material qualities of persons concerned, different types of yajnas are recommended in the Vedas. Worship of different demigods is also on the same basis, namely according to different qualities. For example, the meat eaters are recommended to worship the goddess Kali, Kali, the ghastly form of material nature, and before the goddess, the sacrifice of animals is recommended. But for those who are in the mode of goodness, the transcendental worship of Vishnu is recommended. But ultimately, all yajnas are meant for gradual promotion to the transcendental position. For ordinary men, at least 5 yajnas, known as Pancha Mahayajna, are necessary.
Okay. Vijay Mataji, you can read this.
One should know, however, that all the necessities of life that the human society requires are supplied by the demigod agents of the Lord. No one can manufacture anything. Take, for example, all the eatables of human society. These eatables include grains, fruits, vegetables, milk, sugar, etc. For the persons in the mode of goodness, and also eatables for the non-vegetarians like meats, none of which can manufacture by man. Then again take for example heat, light, water, air, etc., which are also necessities of life. None of them can be manufactured by the human society. Without the Supreme Lord, there can be no profuse sunlight, moonlight, rainfall, trees, etc., without of which no one can live. Obviously, our life is dependent on supplies from the Lord. Even for our manufacturing enterprises, we require so many raw materials like metal, sulfur, mercury, manganese, and so many essentials, all of which are supplied by the agent of the Lord, which the purpose that we should make proper use of them to keep ourselves fit and healthy. For the purpose of self-realization, leading the ultimate goal of life, namely liberation from the material struggle for existence. This aim of life is attained by performance of yajnas. If we forget the purpose of human life and simply take supplies from the agents of the Lord for sense gratification and become more and more entangled in material existence, which is not the purpose of creation, certainly we become thieves, and therefore we are punished by the law of material nature. A society of thieves can never be happy because they have no aim in life. The gross materialistic thieves have no ultimate goal of life. They are simply directed the sense gratification, nor do they have knowledge of how to perform yajnas. Lord Chaitanya, however, inaugurated the easiest performance of yajna, namely the Sankirtan yajna, which can be performed by anyone in the world who accepts the principles of Krishna consciousness.
So, Srila Prabhupada is explaining here who are the demigods. In India, there is a common conception, चाहे राम बोलो, चाहे गणेश बोलो, चाहे लक्ष्मी बोलो, चाहे मुत्तु मारियम्मन बोलो, चाहे मुर्गा बोलो, सब कुछ एक है. Everything is one and the same. All roads lead to Rome, but all roads don't lead to Rome. For example, if you take that, what is that? Not Carford Road. Carford Road, still there may be people who say it's a long road, but take that street, Page Street. It will not lead you to Rome. So people say like that, all roads lead to Rome. All these are nice catchy things to say. But no, it's not that whoever you worship, you will ultimately go to the supreme destination. Lord Krishna specifically qualifies saying that whoever you worship, whichever demigod you will attain that demigod. So, but one has to understand who are Devi Devatas. I know that most of us here in this room, we understand, but now from a preaching point of view, we must be able to give these examples when we are preaching to new people. That is why we are discussing these points. Otherwise, we know that most of us sitting in this room have accepted the basic principles of Krishna Consciousness. It's a given for all the people doing this course. However, from a preaching point of view, we must really speak with conviction from the scriptures, not be afraid to tell the truth. So, the demigods here are mentioned as empowered administrators. There are various terminologies used. Empowered administrators, innumerable assistants and authorized supply agents on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Correct? For example, you can sit in Guntur and you can get a Liril soap. Right? The pan wala will give you a Liril soap. But you can say, pan wala, kya soap hai yaar? Kaisa banaya? Will you ask the pan wala like that? What a soap! Excellent yaar. How do you have knowledge of manufacturing such a beautiful soap? He said, no. I didn't manufacture soap. That Hindustan Lever distributor, he came to me in a van this morning. And then he has dropped these soaps which you are buying. So there is an entire supply chain network of Unilever which is enabling that Liril soap to come to the consumer. Right? Neither will you go to the teller of a bank and then when the teller gives you money, $300, you will not fall at the feet of the teller and tell him, teller, आपके जैसा ना देखा ना सुना. एक कॉइन दिया और पैसा दिया आपने. अरे फर्स्ट क्लास. मैंने बृहत भानु प्रभु को कॉइन दिया. He never gives me money. Like that. I'm just using your example. So I may give you something, but it doesn't mean immediately cash will come out. But you go to the teller of a bank, he will give you cash. Of course, nowadays internet transfer is there, but I remember in my childhood I used to go with my father. Right? We used to get the token number 3 like that, and then you do us whatever, what is it called? Chalan, yeah. You fill up that chalan and dup, he'll stamp it. You go to the teller and the token, and he'll give you okay, and then he'll give you money. Now you don't fall at his feet. Teller, I didn't give you anything. I gave you a piece of paper, and you are giving me money because of which I can survive. So you are my supreme personality of Godhead. आप ही मेरे देवता हो. Because आपके through मेरे पास पैसा है. This is a foolish mentality. Because I don't know that the teller is giving me from my own account. I only worked very hard to earn that money. The teller is simply giving me from my own account. There is an exceptional situation it may happen that Tangi ka mahina. You know what is Tangi ka mahina in Hindi? What do you call that now? Kadki lagay. Hardship. In some month you are on the negative. So your kharcha, your expenses may be slightly more than your bank balance. Then you go, the teller may be authorized to give you a overdraft. But can you tell, usually I have 10,000 rupees in a bank, but I want around maybe 2 lakhs overdraft. He'll tell you, sorry, you can go to some other bank. He may tell you like that. But if you tell, I want another 100 rupees as overdraft, can you please give me? I want to pay something. Oh, sure, why not? Overdraft he gives you. So this is how the demigods are. We have to understand. The demigods, when we go to them, they give blessings to us from our own good karmic bank account. But doesn't mean, oh, मैं बाबा के पास गया, बाबा ने सब ठीक कर दिया, therefore बाबा मेरे भगवान आप ही हो अभी. Then therefore you are my God. For me everything is good. I had some measles problem and then I went and then Baba gave vibhuti and then everything is over. Baba may not be a demigod also. That is another different thing. He may be one of those. CHEAT. Right? That is a different thing. Right? But let's take demigod also. I go always to the temple at the corner of Mylapore and some Paris junction. Okay, why? Because whenever I go there, all my desires are fulfilled. I have gone twice. I wanted physics, chemistry, maths 98, nothing less than that, to get into Gindi Engineering College. But when I went there, I prayed, Tatastu. So every time I go to Ambal, and then I always, I am very surrendered to her, like that. So this is so you don't understand that you have got it because you are already destined to get it. Maybe Ambal must have done bank overdraft. Okay, you have got 97 by mistake. Ambal, whoever that man was, he put 98 by mistake. Little bit of overdraft the demigods can do. That too, that overdraft, who is authorizing the teller to give overdraft? Teller cannot say, oh, apne gaon ka aadmi hai yaar. You are from the same village. Oh, come on, 200 rupees overdraft for you. Next day, what will happen? The teller will lose his job. He will say, what is this? You are just hiding with people from your village and caste. I am authorizing you, the manager will tell him, I am authorizing to you to give how much of overdraft. I decide. So you can give overdraft, you can decide an exception. Even in our company, we have what is called as, exception authorization process in Infosys, right? For example, ordinarily you are entitled to, whatever, economy class, if you have to go to some customer. But in an exception, you are authorized business class. But still, my boss is not the deciding authority. He has been empowered by the policies of the company to do an exception. All he can do is that he can exercise his decision whether to apply that exception within the realms of the policy in this case. That's all he can do. So please understand that demigods are also like that. Okay. Now I know that all of you understand this, but we are explaining to new people. We have to come down to their level and explain. That is why we are reiterating these examples. So we should not understand that everything is coming through the demigods. The demigods are ultimately empowered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead to do so. There is somebody above everyone, right? It's just like, the cabinet minister is there for Minister of Home, Minister of Education. Everyone is under Manmohan Singh. It is different that he may be under somebody else. That is a different thing. But that is the material world. In the realm of God, God is still absolute. There is nobody, he has to bend towards. Like that, to retain his position as God. No, that is not like that. Okay. So, who are the demigods is explained. Then, the displeasure or pleasure of the demigods is based on Yajna, the performance of Yajna. And the chief Yajnapati is who? Lord Krishna. Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasham. There are two benefits of Yajna which are coming across in these sections. The first benefit is a material benefit. Two benefits of doing Yajna. Material benefit and spiritual benefit. First, material benefit is what? Because of performance of Yajna, there will be no scarcity of food, water, etc., etc. Now you may say that man has progressed so much, now man is bringing out Rolls-Royce car. But at the end of the day, for Rolls-Royce car also you need water. Correct? That Rolls-Royce car is made up of steel. Where is steel made? In a blast furnace. Blast furnace, what do you need? Fire. Where does fire come from? Krishna. Right? At the end of the day, when the steel is poured out, then finally for cooling you need water to put on the steel to give it a particular structure. Anyone who are metallurgy students will understand. Iron carbon diagram we studied. You need water to be poured. You need to cool the steel at a particular rate for it to be able to form a granular structure by which it can be categorized under various types of steel or whatever like that. Okay. So for that you need water. So Prabhupada is giving us those examples here. Even the mundane objects of your world, your Rolls-Royce cars, everything, that also needed that water. That also needed that air. In a blast furnace, you still need a blast of air also at the end of the day. Right? Because sometimes the steel is cooled by a blast of air instead of water. Like that. So like that, you take industrial products also, they are also using Mother Nature. Dhirubhai Ambani, yes, agreed that he set up the greatest petrochemical complex in the world. No doubt about it. But where is he getting his crude oil from? Nobody manufactures crude oil. No, even your Schlumberger doesn't manufacture crude oil. It is already there in earth. It has been provided. It's only being drilled and removed and then put in a equipment which is processing it and then converting into kerosene, converting into petrol, converting into so many things. But the basis is crude oil. Where does that crude oil come from? It is already there in earth. It is already been provided for. So we have to really understand. So just because I'm a big, nobody is big in any way, but somebody will think I'm a big manager in one small bank or whatever, and then he may think that he is the center of the universe, right? So we have to really understand we are insignificant. We cannot do anything without the blessings of the demigods. If the demigods don't shower rainfall here, there will be starvation. And when you have starvation in this world, then the last thing the company will be thinking is, should I implement SAP or should I implement Oracle applications in my factory? First thing is that where will I get my food? Right? So because all this is taken for granted, people are running after so many other things which are built, some phantasmagoria which is built on top of all these things. And then we think that those are the basic important discussions of life. But the important discussions of life are here, because food is gradually depleting, oil is gradually depleting, natural resources are depleting. Right? As we said earlier, iPad is becoming cheaper, but Apple is becoming more expensive. Like that. Okay. So where are we heading towards? We can clearly see Kali Yuga, the way it is progressing. So there is a material benefit of no scarcity. If we do yagyas, the demigods will bless. Then spiritual benefit of doing yagyas is what? Gradual purification. The gradual purification will be there. And how the gradual purification will happen? Prabhupada is explaining that when eatables are offered, then what happens? These eatables are offered to the demigods, they become sanctified. And then the existence is purified and ultimately it leads to liberation. That whole cycle is given. So I will not repeat that because it's already there in the text. You can read that. However, Srila Prabhupada is also iterating that these yagyas to demigods are recommended for who? Correct. For those karmakandis, for the people who cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Some people, even after, I told you, in another country, after 25 years also the man came and said, is Krishna the Supreme Personality of Godhead? When I went to Toronto in 2 years, then he said that, your lecture was very good. I am completely convinced Krishna is Supreme Personality. After 2 years, when I was leaving for the airport, he's telling, just thinking, wohi hai kya? Then all I could say to him was, Haribol, maybe I hope to meet you sometime in life. That's all. What can you say to such a person? Right? You can't do anything. So this is for those people, these yagyas, karmakanda, who cannot understand or accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then, okay, you worship whoever you want. Okay, who do you think is Supreme? Oh, well, Muruga. Okay, fine, come, you worship Muruga. Okay. Now they don't understand that this Murugan, this Kartikeya, he was part of the Yadu dynasty. He is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. He was part of the Yadu dynasty. They don't understand all that. Why? Because they have not read Srimad Bhagavatam. They don't know what is Srimad Bhagavatam also. Forget about having read. Most of the people don't know how many chapters are there in Bhagavad Gita. But they will say we are Hindus. Like that. Okay. So with this level of ignorance, what can you discuss? Right? People have to at least open the book and read something. Everything is just my ideas, my concoction, what my great-grandfather or my grandmother told me. That is what is supreme truth for everyone. But the grandmother might have not also have read Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam. That is the problem with most of us. Right? Too much attachment to family and too much attachment to the opinions of family members. And that becomes the truth for us. Like that. But the truth for a devotee is what? Scriptures. Everything we talk is based on Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. Nothing becomes the truth because some Jagannath Ram has told in some class. No. It is becoming Satyam because it is coming from the bona fide scriptures. Like that. So, now, Kiran Prabhu had a question. Karma Kanda, okay, which is here, gradually it is moving. It is still a ladder in the yoga ladder. See, till here the ladder has not started. There is no step here. Of course, nowadays we need to put a step here also. But however, this was in better times, I think, this yoga ladder. But the first step is here. So going to Karma Kanda. You climb on this step and you go to this Karma Kanda. Now what is the difference? Please understand, this is the punchline. By doing this, what we are starting to do? We are starting to cultivate a mood of dependence and service. Before that, we never had this mood. There is some mood of depending on somebody. Right? You can call it as any demigod. But there is some mood of I am dependent on someone. Not I am self-made. I don't believe in God. Everything is just random interplay of chemicals. Some fools talk like that. But still, at least here, we have a mood of dependence and service. So at least we are going to the Murugan temple and doing some service, which is glorious, which is good to do. but that is not the ultimate truth. That's all we are trying to say. So that is why it is still coming. It is still there on the yoga ladder, because it is still helping you connect by developing these qualities in us. The mood of dependence and service, which eventually will become mood of dependence on. Eventually what will happen? This mood of dependence will be on. No, the mode of dependence will be on Krishna dash. Fill in the blank. The mode of dependence will be on Krishna only. There is a difference between depending on Krishna and depending on Krishna only. Right? The highest is what? Depending on Krishna only. Mam ekam sharanam vraja. He didn't say mam sharanam vraja. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam. Sirf mujhe. Dependence should be only on Krishna. That is very important. Ultimately this will mature to that. And service only for Krishna and his devotees. Not for anyone else. Not that Prabhu, that fellow, I had a friend, he helped me when I came to Australia. Therefore I have to serve him. Because of him I got job. Therefore I cannot attend Bhagavatam class. Because he has invited me for dinner. And I cannot displease him. Because he helped me when I came to Melbourne to get a job. We will not talk like that. Because what we will do, we will understand that by serving Krishna, we will be serving everyone else like that. And also we will understand that what is the best way of helping that friend who helped me get a job? Give him Krishna Bhakti. That way he will become delivered from the cycle of birth, disease, old age and death. He only got your job, but you have delivered him from the cycle of birth, disease, old age and death, such that there is no job required for survival. In spiritual world, there is no Microsoft and IBM. In spiritual world, what is there? Kalpataru trees, desire, wish fulfilling trees. You have to just stand. They will not ask you, okay, do you have your credit card for the apple? No. You don't need to swipe anything there. Right? Nor you have to go in the spiritual world and look now which suburb should I live in. Which are expensive and inexpensive suburbs. These things don't happen in the spiritual realm of existence.
Probably a small question. Yes. We were discussing about you were saying about the grant of demigods. I faced a person who said, I came across a person, it was happening in the Bhakti Sastri. Bhakti Sastri, so Brahmachari was taking the class and he said he went to Tirupati, then it didn't happen, then he went to Bhadrachalam, he didn't happen, and then he went to many demigods, and last he went to Sri Sai Baba, then he got the wish fulfilled. So he says, I won't follow anyone, I go only to these things. Such a person, how do I explain? You said that this is because you were saying that if he has in the karma, demigod will give him. But when he processed to many demigods, that didn't happen. At last, one demigod gave him. So how do you explain to such a person?
Yeah, how do you explain to such a person is, I wanted to tell this in the next verse, but because you have raised a very interesting question, please remember these 3 points. Most of the Bhakti Vriksha members know this. Okay. What are these 3 things? Bhukti, Mukti and Bhakti. So, if you take the entire human population and you make a chart of your desires. Okay, Raju, what do you want? Manju, what do you want? Tim, what do you want? David, what do you want? Rebecca, what do you want? Vijay Shanti, what do you want? Karishma Kapoor, what do you want? You take all the desires of people, right? And you go to Ramana Maharishi, what do you want? Mahananda Yogi, what do you want? Amma, what is that Amma? Amritananda Mahima, what do you want? Sabko jaake note karo. Right? And then you can put that desires into 3 categories. People either want bhukti or mukti or bhakti. These are the 3 types of people in the world. Bhukti means people who want to enjoy. Their goal is that, to enjoy the material world. People who want liberation from the material world. That's the second type of people. These are the yogis and whatever. Jnanis and yogis. Right? And people who want don't want to enjoy the material world. They neither want liberation. What is that verse? Mama janmani janmanishware bhavatat bhaktir bhavetuki tvai. I only want your causeless devotional service birth after birth. When Prahlad was sitting on Narsimhadeva's lap, Narsimhadev asked him, Narsimha Bhagavan, he was in Krodh, nobody could come, none of the demigods, they were thinking, मैं नहीं जा रहा हूँ, आप जाओ आगे, उनके सामने, मुझे नहीं जाना है, like that. So therefore, like somebody was getting angry, Prabhu, you go in front of that person, like that. Dina Vatsala Prabhu. Okay. Nobody wants to go in front of an angry man, right? So therefore, Narsimhadev was the personification of anger of God, that too, not only of man. Personification of anger of God, Narsimhadev. So who can stand? Brahma said, I am not going. Lakshmi, nobody dared to go there. But Prahlad Maharaj was sitting on his lap, was completely undisturbed by Narsimhadev. He didn't feel it fierce. He felt as if a Supreme Father was sitting like that. Just imagine the mood, right? Why? Because he did not want anything from Narsimhadev. He didn't feel threatened. His only goal was to serve Narsimhadev. Oh, Narsimhadev, you have appeared, very nice. How can I serve you now? Narsimha Bhagavan is saying, what? You have shown the ultimate faith that anyone can show. When Hiranyakashipu asked, is Bhagavan inside that pillar? You said yes with confidence. And then I appeared to show that yes, I will always fulfill that. I will never let down my devotee. I came. I am very happy with your faith. Now, ask, what do you want? No, I don't want anything. No, you have to ask me. No, I don't want anything. I only want to serve you. Finally, after forcing many times, then Prahlad Maharaj opened his mouth and said, okay, if you can, you forgive my father. That father who put him in boiling oil, who threw him from a hill, who placed him under elephants, right, to kill him. This is the compassion of a Vaishnava. He says that you pardon my father. So Narsimhadev said, what to speak of your father? 14 generations above and 14 generations below him, all I will deliver. Sabko mukti mil gaya. Whether they are drinking cigarettes, smoking cigarettes or drinking wine, or whether they are interested in Sachin Tendulkar in 2020, all of them will go to Vaikuntha. Why you are worried? Right? So therefore, here we see that a devotee only is interested in bhakti. He doesn't want anything. Sanatana Goswami, was it? Who was sitting, and then some thief had come, saying that you have some golden, what is it? Golden stone, huh? What is it called? Chintamani. You have some gem by which, wishful stone, yeah. He had actually, Sanatana Goswami had a wishful stone. So the thief said, oh, isko pakadta hu abhi. Kaisa bhi wishful stone mil jayega, I will become rich. So he came, Sanatana Goswami was meditating, doing chanting. So he has, I have come, I want that wishful stone which you have. Sanatana Goswami said, I might have thrown it in the dustbin, can you just go and pick up from somewhere there. It must be lying there. And the thief thought that if he has thrown this thing in the dustbin, that means he is having something much more precious than that. Then he is telling me, can you give me that? Yeah, okay, very good. Hare Krishna. Like that. So, from here, he was directly transported to here. So now, you apply this concept and you answer. A person who doesn't want bhakti, don't preach to such persons. Tell them that at the end of the day, this is all you wanted, no? You wanted job. Okay, incidentally, you can also explain. If the person is friendly with you, you can explain. You can explain to him that, mere bhai, at that time, your astrological charts might have not been good enough that you get a job. Incidentally, your charts have got cleared now. It's not that, some Baba has done this for you. Okay. So we attribute that. Because if every month I think of a different demigod, some month will come where my karma is also fulfilling. Anyway, and then I think, oh, that this month, this demigod. Okay, that demigod is giving me job. Bhagavan Devata. Like that. In India also, this is how these Babas are surviving. There is one passport Baba in India. हम तो passport Baba को मानते हैं. हम उनके वजह से हमारा बच्चा US गया. They will have a tree and then they are actually putting passports. In Chandigarh or somewhere, in Punjab somewhere, I saw one Gurudwara, they have kept aeroplanes there. And it was in Times of India. We may not believe Bhagavad Gita, but Times of India is bona fide source. Correct? So in Times of India they have given. Not in any mundane scripture. They have given photograph. All plain is there. I said, what is this here? All planes in Gurudwara. They said, no, if you go and offer plane there, that means you will go abroad. Toy plane. In Tirupati also sometimes, people put, if you put something, then baby will come or something, you put inside that thing. Same mentality. Whatever we do there, we will do in Tirupati also. Right? Mentality is same.
But Tirupati is the expansion of Krishna, isn't it?
Tirupati is the expansion of Krishna, right there. But we are not going to worship Krishna, we are going for sun there. The problem is never with Bhagavan or Devata. Problem is अपना ऊपर है. ये अंदर कुछ है ना. Problem is within us. It is never outside. All problems are inside. Demigods अपनी अपनी जगह सही है. वो अमिताभ what is the chat? मंजिलें अपनी जगह है and whatever that song is there no like that. भगवान अपनी जगह है and सब लोग अपना अपना जगह है. Problem अपने अंदर है. Okay. Okay. Basis of different yajnas or what? The basis of different yajnas is what? How do you decide which type of yajna to do? Based on the three modes of material nature by which we are driven. So therefore, for the people in mode of ignorance, what they are told, a person is drunkard. He can't take, he has to have country liquor every day. Oh, hota hi nahi hai yaar, control hi nahi hota, he will say. Then what do you say? Acha, theek hai, okay. You want country liquor pina kya? Theek hai, aa jao. Now you offer it to this demigod. Because there is one demigod who is also specifically drinking country liquor. For that only there is one demigod who is accepting all these things. You say, okay, you come. Okay. You want to have goat, you want to eat goat meat. Okay, come. Tum bhi aa jao bhakti ke andar. Chalo, come. Offer goat and offer it at this time. Do this particular yajna to this demigod. Like that. So based on the person's proclivity and modes of material nature where he is in, uske level pe then we tell that person that you do this yajna. Right? However, please understand, then you may say that Prabhuji, I came for your Bhakti Vriksha program, I told I am eating goat meat, you didn't tell me, I told I have liquor problem, you didn't tell me do Sautramani yajna. Somebody may say. Why? Because we are not preaching slow process. If you come to our Bhakti Vriksha, you are coming into the accelerated learning program. You are taking an elevator. You are not asking staircase method. If you want staircase method, we will send you to, do Sautramani yajna and then have alcohol. What we are saying no problem, you continue drinking alcohol, but along with that chant, one round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. When the name of Narayana comes on the tongue, the taste for alcohol will automatically go down. Automatically. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to say New Year resolution karta hu yaar. 2013 January 1st say I will not touch. And then on 3rd, you say talap laga tha, thoda ek maar liya. No, it will not happen like that. It will not happen like that. Okay, for Hindi people, on 3rd day you will not think that, I am thinking that 2 days I have controlled, how to control now, like that. Okay, so that will not happen. Okay, that will not happen. So Prabhupada is also mentioning here Pancha Mahayagya. Prabhupada is mentioning towards the end of the first paragraph. For ordinary men, at least 5 yajnas known as Pancha Mahayagya necessary. These are mentioned for who? For ordinary men. Please understand. That's why Prabhupada's every statement you have to read very carefully. For ordinary men this. So just for your information, I just researched on this. These are the Pancha Mahayagya. In case it's not required to know it, but they are called as Ahuta. Ahuta means that which is not offered in fire, but which is chanted through Vedic texts. That's called as Ahuta. Then second is Huta. Huta means that is which is put in the oblations as the burnt oblation. Ahuta, Huta. Then Prahuta. Prahuta means that which is offered by scattering on the ground. Like that. You just offer on the ground. In India, when you go, you will find pumpkin on the road sometime. Not pumpkin, watermelon. They will put that. It's all offered on the road. That's a very low level of offering. You don't offer to Krishna, like that. Oh Lord, take. Have you ever seen to the Lord Venkateshwara offered like that? No, they don't offer like that. We offer in gold plate or steel or silver at least. Kuch nahi to we'll offer stainless steel at home. Alright? But we'll offer Namo Maha Vadanyaya. No, not that putting the watermelon there. And sometimes what you do is that, I remember when we purchased our first ambassador car, years back. So that watermelon we had got, and you have to supposed to drive the car over the watermelon. Then that means that if the car has got any karma, then that karma will be finished. You will not ride over somebody's head. Actually, we did that. Like that. Okay. But anyway, in India you will find that scattered. And my mother always used to say, just walk on the side. And I used to go like this. Otherwise it will come to you. I was always scared. Some pishacha will come, behind my back after that. Already pareshani bahut hai life mein. You went on a bike and slipped on that, huh? See, he tried to avoid that and he got... Anyway, so this is Prahuta. Okay, Haribol. This is Prahuta, offered by scattering on the ground. So it refers to offerings made to the bhutas and pishachas like that. Then there is Brahmahuta, which is offered in the digestive fire of the Brahmanas. You offer food to the Brahmanas like that. And then there is Prasita, which is eaten. Okay, so these are the 5 Panchamahayaga, just in case anyone wants to know. It's not important information which is just given to you. And the easiest yajna is Sankirtan yajna, and the dangers of not performing Sankirtan yajna, Prabhupada is concluding, which is continued in the next chapter, is that one gets sinful reaction if you do not perform yajna, which is explained in the next verse. Okay. 13. The devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sins because they eat food which is offered first for sacrifice. Others who prepare food for personal enjoyment verily eat only sin. So therefore, in this verse, Srila Prabhupada is giving the importance of honoring dash. Only. Srila Prabhupada is giving the importance of honoring only prasadam. Because karma transfers through what? Fire. Karma transfers through fire. So if I am a serial killer and I am preparing nice vegetarian biryani for you, no, I am vegetarian. You may go to the hotel and say, no, we don't eat meat. हम लोग खाली vegetarian खाते हैं. Okay. Some people feel very good, no, that they are eating only vegetarian in restaurants. It is for those people. So if the person who is cooking that vegetarian dish for you, if he is a serial offender or no, he has come back from jail, okay, and he is incidentally cooking inside, his consciousness, you know how it will be. So that consciousness of his goes into that food, and when you eat it, you also develop that consciousness. Now this may seem far out from the scientific bent of mind, okay, but our science is a lower science. This is a higher science, transcendental science. Karma transfers through fire, right? So we have to understand. That's why we say, for people who cannot control the tendency to eat outside, at least do not eat cooked food outside. You can take fruits or anything like that. Like when we go to India, sometimes our relatives invite us, no, come home, I will make masala dosa for you or whatever. Nanna unakku vengaya sambar vachi suda podran. They will say, yeah, because in your vengaya sambar means onion sambar. Okay, onion ka sambar bana ke aapko khilati hu, aap aao. Okay, because few years back you might have told your aunt, aapka aisa onion sambar koi nahi bana sakta hai. Like that. So she remembers that. She is calling out of love. Please understand. So that is good. She is calling. But then you can't go and say that, prem se khilaya, to maine kha liya abhi. Love is above everything else. All that is nonsense. Nonsense philosophy. Man-made philosophy. Okay? What will happen? In the kabaddi match, what will happen? You went there to play kabaddi and then you got caught that side. Right? Instead of saving the drowning man, you also fell down and got drowned. 2 people are not drowned. Correct? So therefore what we do, we say, oh, I remember your Vengaya Sambar very well. It is so good. But unfortunately, on that day in which I am coming to your house, I am fasting, So therefore, on that day I will eat fruits. What about other days? Other days, obviously, you are busy, I am busy, like that. Or whatever day, finally, you go, you ensure that you are fasting on that day. So you can eat at home and then go nicely and then take some fruits and say that the fruits were fantastic, like that. And then you can ask her also, you can just, before that I'll come and you can offer the fruits to the Lord. Kuch nahi to at least mentally offer to the Lord, like that, okay? In extreme situations where the matter goes out of control, at least you have to ask them to cook without onion and garlic, everything. Make it very clear and tell them that I will come and offer in your house, so that they also get prasadam. Ultimate kabaddi player is who gets them also out and comes back. So unko bhi muh mein prasadam dal do, unke hi ghar mein. Enter their house and give them prasadam, like that.
The consciousness is already passed into the food.
No. Once food which is offered to the Lord, there is no question of problem in that food. Of course, you can't say that, no, you give onion sambar and I will offer to the Lord, because the Lord doesn't accept that. So you tell, you cook vegetarian and I will offer to the Lord. See, at the end of the day, we have to also understand, the Lord is not a master chef or something like that, or he is not a quality control agent. Oh, what ingredients was there? Oh, 5%, oh, pakdo isko abhi. He is not like that. He is not waiting to pounce on us. The Lord is bhavagrahi. He sees what steps you are taking to spread Krishna consciousness. So when we go to our relative's house, if we go with this one desire that I am going to my relative's house not to just say Haribol and take some mundane blessings and come, but to make them Krishna consciousness. I am going to go and preach in their house, right? And make them ask me why I am what I am, and therefore I can open up a conversational thread with them and then preach to them. Then you are actually going for the purpose of satisfying Krishna. In that case, there is no. Last time we saw, Kurvan eva karmani jiji vishe chatam samaha. What is that verse? Evam tvai nanya tetosti na karma lipyate nare. You can go on working like that, go on visiting people after people like that for millions of lifetime, and karma will not touch you. Because your goal is what? To please Krishna. Prabhupada himself took prasadam in some karmi's house one day, and the devotee said, Prabhupada, you are eating it. Prabhupada said, don't worry about it. I can take, but you don't take, of course. Prabhupada said, you all don't eat. I can eat, he said. Right? So whatever is required for preaching, sometimes we do. But of course, we don't say that, okay, they have kept chicken, for preaching purposes I am going, I may be thoda haath maar liya. No, it doesn't work like that. Okay, so we have to be careful. Right? So at the end of the day, Krishna inside the heart knows why he is doing something like that. Okay. So therefore, the cycle of control over tongue. Okay, the control over tongue. Shall we, with your permission, can we go for 15 minutes more today? We'll complete this. Okay. So the cycle of somebody also already told me today. Prabhu, आपका हर एक क्लास 10 मिनट ऊपर ही जाता है आजकल. We'll get there. Please give me some more time. We'll get there. I'll work on it. Okay. Sometimes, because I'm used to Bhakti Vriksha model, so little bit that overlap. Same thing I'm carrying here also. Please pardon me for that. So the cycle of control over tongue is very important to understand. So if we tell a newcomer, offer everything to the Lord, otherwise you verily eat sin. Look at this, what he's saying. Others who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment, verily eat sin. So you are a sinner, you are a papi, mahapapi. You say like that, agla bar aayega nahi. He will not come. He'll say, they are not respecting my dignity in the temple. That is the argument they will give, right? So definitely to a beginner you cannot tell this, that you are eating sin when you are eating anything which is not offered to Krishna. So we give newcomers time. Why we give time? We have also been given time when we were newcomers, right? I remember that the person who used to, my best friend in college, who used to preach to me, initially he used to accompany me to the bar. After that he said, I am not coming. You go alone. After that he told me, why you are also going? You come to the Radha Gopinath Chaupati Mandir. Like that. Okay. So slowly that habit went away. Right? And he told me, you do one thing. If you are going there, then at least you chant one Maha Mantra. Like that. And then he started chanting and that habit was gone in no time. And then you can't even see that. Isn't it? Right? So we can't even eat vegetarian food which is not offered. Vegetarian food which is not offered is like meat kept in front of us. So the Maha Mantra has the power to bring us to that level. Nevertheless, there is, because we are now discussing this from a preaching point of view, there is a typical cycle which I thought for some time and has scripted based on the experience of most Bhakti Vriksha cell servants here and most of you who have done some kind of preaching. So the cycle of control over tongue starts in the temple. So a person comes to the temple, he has no idea what is Krishna consciousness, but at least starts coming to the temple regularly. Okay. Slowly the person starts getting association of devotees in the Bhakti Vriksha. Initially what he is doing, he is eating everything outside, but he is also coming to the temple and eating prasadam on Saturdays and Sundays. Okay. Everyone's bhakti starts like that initially. After that what will happen, they will slowly say, I am coming to this temple to eat only, now let me also hear what they are talking. Or let me at least have one friend in this temple who can say Hari Bol to me and who recognizes me. Arey, aap aaye ho kya, aa jao. Like that. Okay. So then the association with devotees start. When association starts, what happens? Devotee tells them, oh, you have liquor problem, cigarette problem, meat problem? No problem. Chalta hai yaar, continue, hum bhi aise the pehle. Don't worry yaar, tum khali ek kaam karo, you chant one round. So the control over tongue starts with actually chanting. That is why Rupa Goswami said, Sevon mukhe hi jivhada swayam eva spuratyadaha. Like that. From the tongue only the control starts. The tongue will not first be able to control what goes in, but the tongue can definitely be made to vibrate the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Like that. So, that we will tell. Then what we will tell, after that we take the next step. We tell them, okay, now you establish a simple ISKCON altar in your house. Right? And start offering at least one patram pushpam phalam toyam. Offer one apple to the Lord. Okay, you continue your meat and liquor and whatever that you have to, but at least put a simple, at least you put Krishna along with everyone else. They will say, no, हम लोग ये भगवान को, देवी को बहुत मानते हैं. अच्छा ठीक है, देवी को मानो यार आप, लेकिन देवी के बाजू में एक छोटा सा कृष्णा का भी फोटो रखो. Okay, along with Devi you place a photo of Krishna at least. Okay, and then you offer one apple, you offer. That's all. Apple problem? Okay, problem. Water you offer. Water will not be a problem. Right? So you offer water. So the next step of controlling tongue. And then what do we do after that? They will continue eating. Then slowly what they'll say, no, acha lag raha hai. After establishing, that small altar apple, we have stopped eating meat inside the house. So whenever we go, we eat outside the house only meat. Like that. So they will migrate now. Now a little bit progress. Yoga ladder. Okay, progress. Meat has now gone outside the house. Okay. Then, and then what they will say, we are now chanting, but meat outside the house also we have stopped. But what we cannot stop is onion and garlic, and tea and coffee. Like that. So like that people will gradually progress till they come into the point of having an pakka altar in their house and offering everything, cooking everything and offering to the Lord and eating. But they will say that, no, we are at home, everything prasadam only. It is only when we go out for picnic or when we are in the aircraft, that time we eat outside food. So you will have prasadam in the house, but you will also go to Delhi Darbar and Mughal Palace and Rajasthani, tandoori and all. And they will eat there also and they will eat also prasadam. So then you are doing multitasking now. Okay. And then gradually they will come to a point that they will stop eating outside. And in Toronto we had that situation. We also used to go to restaurants there. We used to eat prasadam also. In the home everything offering pakka. But then outside little bit, that Delhi Darbar and Rajasthani, whatever. So we used to go there. And then one day we went there and then we saw another devotee sitting there. And that devotee was... हरि बोल प्रभु. हम लोग नॉर्मली नहीं आते हैं. आज वो थोड़ा बीमार थी. So thoda little bit there, and then after that I told, at least for image sake we should not go. Now, and that person was also red. We were also red faced. And Krishna arranged. That was the last hotel which I visited. In my lifetime, it ended there. Today, I'll tell you, that Prabhuji, he's a big preacher in Thunder Bay in Canada. Amazing preaching he is doing. He is establishing an ISKCON temple himself there. That devotee who I met there. He saw me, I saw him. There. Both of us stopped. Right? So then we migrate to not going to hotel and eating prasadam. However, then the next stage comes. No, Prabhu, we have stopped visiting hotels. We are only offering, inside only we are cooking everything and eating. Only thing is that we are buying biscuits from outside. What is that? Quality grocery. Biscuits we are eating, like that. Until you come to the point where you start making, and bread we are eating outside. From that Brumbies, whatever. Then you buy a bread maker and you start making your own bread. So like that slowly. And then what about aircraft? Aircraft, what happens here? We know. Mataji, Hare, you are going to India, okay, what prasadam I should pack for you in the flight? That is a beautiful thing in our congregation. Whenever someone travels, others cook, prasadam. Like when we traveled, I think you made something, Priya Vishaka Mataji made my favorite pizzas, like that. Mataji gave cookies, she knows I like. So like that, we had a lot of, and so many others also have given. Please, pardon me if I am not mentioning everyone. So many other devotees keep giving. Mother make muruku and gives sometimes. Mataji made bread the other day. You made. So many devotees then come and tell you that, okay. And in fact, what you do, you don't know what to do with all that prasadam in the flight. Like that. That is the love of devotees. So, but the point I am making in this context is, devotees still take care even in that flight not to eat non-prasadam. At best, we may take orange juice. That's all. Because you have to keep drinking something, water and orange juice. That's all you take. And you are not allowed to carry water inside the flights nowadays. So you have no option. You can't say take Maha water and go inside. Like that. Otherwise, like that Mr. Bean, you can do. You can put it in that, what is that? That hot pad. He fills water inside that and then he drinks. So you can beat the system like that. Any points thus far? Okay. So 14 and 15 we'll read quickly. This is another famous verse. Annat bhavanti bhutani parjanya dhanna sambhava. If you are a Bhakti Vriksha cell leader, you are very familiar with this verse because Prabhupada keeps repeating this week after week after week. This verse. All living bodies subsist on food grains which are produced from rains. Rains are produced by performance of yajna, sacrifice, and yajna is born of prescribed duties. Regulated activities are prescribed in the Vedas, and the Vedas are directly manifested from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Consequently, the all-pervading transcendence is eternally situated in acts of sacrifice. So Srila Prabhupada is giving a very, Lord Krishna is giving a very interesting cycle here. Now the entire verse purport is all summed up in this one diagram. Can you see that? We have moved here. You can see it. All of you can see it. Hare Krishna. Karya Mataji. You can see. Okay. So essentially it all starts that with this box. All of us are embodied living beings. Right? What is embodied? Conditioned living being. We are inside this body. Prabhupada said that you don't have to consider yourself a fallen soul. You are a fallen soul. Right? If you can see a material body around yourself, when you look into the mirror, understand that you are fallen. So we are all embodied living beings. Right? Embodied living beings subsist on what for their lives? Food grains. Because we have this body, we need to have food grains. Food grains are produced by who? By rainfall. Rainfall depend on performance of yajna or sacrifice. Performance of yajna is where? What is the genesis of performance of yajna? Where is it mentioned? It's born out of prescribed duties mentioned in the Dharma Kanda section of the Vedas. Prescribed duties are prescribed. Oh, sorry, I just preempted. They are coming from the Vedas, and Vedas are coming from Vedaista Sarvaya Ahameva Vedaya. So that is a cycle which is mentioned in this whole section. I just try to put that diagram, so it's very easy. Is it clear to everyone? So, Prabhupada is writing in this verse purport that prasadam gives immunity from all material reaction. So, the analogy is given that it is like an antiseptic vaccine which is used during the epidemics. Right? So, prasadam protects the consciousness from fall down. By eating prasadam, not only the past sins go away, but also purification happens, so in future also we will not sin. When Krishna Prasadam starts going inside the tongue gets used to eating only the remnants of what has been offered to the Lord. Then even when you close your eyes, it may not be very surprising that you can discern what is Prasadam and what is not Prasadam. One cookie offered to the Lord, one cookie not offered to the Lord. The devotee is often able to understand. No, just not tasting the same. Right? There is something in Prasadam which tastes different. All of us sitting in this room will acknowledge that. Everyone has come back and said that. The prasadam has different taste, which is not there. Directly when you buy and then just open the packet and without offering you eat, like that. Non-prasadam prepares our next body for us. Okay? Any non-prasadam we eat, we are preparing our next body. Why? Any non-prasadam only begets sin. Therefore we are preparing our next body. So, Arjuna is thinking here that if I retire in the forest and beg. Now why all these verses Krishna is telling? That may be a question. What is the context going on in Bhagavad Gita? Suddenly we seem to have lost the context, right? So bringing back to context, Arjuna is thinking that if I retire in the forest instead of fighting in Kurukshetra and live by begging, then I don't need to take anything from the demigods. Right? Because I don't want anything in this material world. I am just retiring to the forest. So, and therefore I will be absolved. I don't need to do any yagyas because I am just a renunciate living in the forest. So Prabhupada is reminding him that in the forest also you need rains. In that forest also you will be eating something, right? Where does it come from? From rainfall. So that is why all this verse is being told to Arjuna, just to bring that context back. So the dependence on demigods and Bhagavan will be there regardless of where you go. You can go to Timbuktu, but still you will be depending on demigods and Bhagavan. So Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna that you cannot avoid obligation. You cannot avoid being obliged to the demigods as long as you are an embodied soul wandering in this material world. Not possible. Also, the point is reiterated here that dependence on food ultimately means what? Dependence on Vishnu. Dependence of food means dependence on Vishnu, who is the source of all food. Like that. And that is the all-pervading transcendence, which is mentioned in text 15. Somewhere Prabhupada writes, right? All-pervading transcendence. In the verse it is there, yeah. Consequently, the all-pervading transcendence. All-pervading transcendence, why the word is being used? Because you can go to the forest also. There also transcendence is pervading. You cannot avoid. Like that. That's why that word is used. So, following the acts of sacrifice as given in the Vedas is equivalent to following the will of Lord Krishna. Now this is a very important point to understand. Following the Karma Kanda also means that you are subordinating to the will of Krishna as prescribed for your level of devotional service. Does it make sense? Yeah? Okay.
Where are we? 15 or 16?
We are in 15. And adherence to one's duties is called as yajna. Adherence to one's prescribed duties is defined as yajna. Yajna doesn't necessarily mean always you should have 4 bricks and fire going on in between. No, it doesn't mean like that. If we simply adhere to our duties, then that itself is called as yajna. Duties which are leading to connection to Supreme Personality of Godhead, either directly through the fast process or indirectly through the slow process. Both are yajna.
So as devotees, when we do our normal work, that itself is yajna.
Yes, as devotees, when we do our normal work, is that yajna? That's what Prabhuji is asking. Depends on in what mood that you do work. If I go to office every day thinking that how can I become more powerful in office and how can I make everyone report to me so that sabke carriers mere mutti mein rahega, so that every day morning those people have to tell me good morning Jagan when I go to office. If they don't tell, I know what to do with those guys. If we go with this office, with this mood of getting power and position in office, or if we go with this mood that I'll work more so that I can climb the corporate ladder or I can get that increment by which I can fund my fantastic car, like that. Okay. Now the mind may tell you one thing. No. Actually, don't buy Toyota, buy Mercedes-Benz, because then you can use the Mercedes-Benz in the service of Krishna. But if you can serve Lord Krishna with a Toyota car, you don't need to really do a Mercedes-Benz and stretch yourself and say that no, I will buy only that car and then have to work, doubly for that. It's very important in this material world that we have to save ourselves. We should not forget that. The more and more we try to increase our opulence in this world, the more and more we will be entangled and we have to be subservient to our bosses. There is more and more we have to become. There is no other choice, right? If I buy a house of which the mortgage is much, much more than my salary, then what can I do? If my boss says bend, I say yes, bend. If he says get up, yes sir. Go there, oh yes sir. Come here, yes sir. This is what will happen to us. Okay, so the problem is not outside of us, but the problem is inside of us. Retirement is inside us. It is not outside anywhere. Retirement is inside us. Retirement will come when we decide to live simply. Retirement will come when the desire for acquiring prestige and showing it off in society in terms of our visiting card and our car and our house, when those desires go down, then only truly we are moving towards real retirement, or actual retirement is what? Krishna consciousness. Okay. Otherwise retirement is nothing. Even the donkeys are not going to office. Doesn't mean they are retired. No. We are also not going to office. So both don't come on the same platform. Because in India, retirement usually means watching Sun TV full time. Earlier it is part time, now it is full time. With coffee and newspaper in the morning. Right? So instead we were reading only headlines, now we will read cover to cover. Along with all other Tamil magazines, Kumudam and Ananda Vigadan, all these things, one will start reading. So that is not retirement. Or in Gujarat mein kya hai? What is that magazine? Huh? G. Okay. Some Gujarat mein ek magazine, I forgot. A typical magazine hai. Chitralekha, yes. Chitralekha. How do I know that? Okay, Gujarati's favorite magazine. Okay, retirement means Chitralekha, full time. Like that. Okay. So that is not retirement. So therefore, when we go to office, our mood should be that I am doing this service so that I can maintain. See, the mood is like this. The wife is at home, the son is at home. I am going to office simply because I get money by which they don't have to work, so that they can then go and work in the temple. And then my wife can then spend some time, quality time with the child in grooming him up in Krishna consciousness. With that mood, if we work, that's fine. If we say, no, double income, no kid, dink and donk and whatever, and then, complicate life, okay, so that more and more money can be, had, so that we can retire early. Many times the mind is a culprit. No, Prabhu, both of us have decided to work so that we can retire early. What will happen? The wife will also get used to working. Husband is also getting used to the fact that wife is working. So the mind is a culprit. You will go and see that Dolce and Gabbana goggles. You will say that, no, after all both of us are working, we can afford, so therefore why not buy it? Isn't it? Or you will go to the shop and say that, no, I will buy, what is that? Peter Jackson only. I will not buy Escomars. Like that. So the mind will say, I will buy only Raymond's, premium variety. Like that. The mind is like that. If you have the money, the tendency will always be to buy that which is highest price than which you can afford. And then you can say, no, after all, I am a nice devotee and all that. This is for everyone. Our mind is a rascal completely. So therefore, Govind Prabhu, in one of his lectures, he has mentioned that devotee means induced poverty. We cannot go back to Godhead if we don't induce poverty in our life. Induced poverty doesn't mean that you encash all your money and throw it in the dustbin. No, not that way. Induced poverty means regardless of what your earnings are, your lifestyle is still the same. Incidentally, if Krishna gives you more money, use it. For example, we have Damu and Preeti in the congregation. You will see always highest donors, in Janmashtami. So that is a very nice thing that they are doing, right? So if both an husband and wife happen to be working, increase your donations to the congregation. Use that Lakshmi in the service of Krishna, if you can afford like that. So we have to see our jobs like that. Always, how can I use the fruits of this job to go back to Godhead? As simple as that, to please Krishna. Like that. And for that, whatever you have to do in office, we have to do. But beyond that, no attachment to office. Most of our problems come because when good times come, we get attached to our job. And when bad time comes, we say, oh, I should retire. So the mind is taking you on this way and the mind is hitting you in that way. So Sthita Dhira Muni. Sthita Dhira Muni means what? Doesn't matter whether my boss congratulates or 4 people are insulting me in the office in a meeting. It doesn't matter. I am doing it for the sake of Krishna. So we just do it as a job with detachment. Right? But we do a quality job in our office. Why? Not because we are too attached to that job. We know it is all ugra karma, useless waste of time. Now utpadhyay yadi ratim. Okay? But we still do a quality job so that they don't kick us out. At least. Nobody should say that this fellow is useless. Isko kaam diya to, baki 4 aadmi aur kaam karna mangta hai. 4 other people have to do his job. No? To that extent we protect our jobs. So that we can continue our Krishna consciousness. Okay. Final verse. My dear Arjuna, one who does not follow in human life the cycle of sacrifice thus established by the Vedas certainly leads a life full of sin, living only for the satisfaction of the senses. Such a person lives in vain. Okay. So, Srila Prabhupada condemns what is called as the Mammonist philosophy here. What is the Mammonist philosophy? That work hard. Many people say the goal of life is to work hard. So they will spend 15 hours on the job, taking on more and more responsibilities and not being able to come regularly for Bhagavatam class or chanting 16 rounds, being able to read the scriptures. No time. Why? Because you are so much attached to your whatever that you are doing, so much attached to your work, and you think that is the goal of life. That attachment is also very difficult to overcome, especially when we get recognition on our work. Then it becomes extremely difficult to get detached from that work, because we see that source of our talent or intelligence as giving us the required fruits in our life, so that we feel very good. Oh, I'm achieving something like that. So that becomes very difficult. That's why Kunti Maharani says, Janma Aishwarya Shruta Shribir E Damana Madapuman Na Evar Hati Abhidatum Vai Tvam Akinchana Gocharam. So the mood of dependence on Krishna goes down, which too much of success we receive in our worldly endeavors. So it doesn't mean that. So therefore, we don't pursue success of this material world. If incidentally it comes, we accept it and use it in the service of Krishna. For example, we have Dr. Rajkumar here. Many of us do not know about his personality, but he is in the who's who in the world. He is a very well-known scientist. We were discussing the other day, because he is such a humble person, he never opens his mouth. You see, he never talks, very less he talks. But he is a well-known personality in the field of computer science, in the world of information technology. Known all over the world like that. So many publications. If you just Google on his name, you will get 15 pages, of all the gold medals that he has got. Such a personality. But then, Prabhuji can be really, he is an asset to the congregation. If Prabhuji, for example, tomorrow starts a preaching program, people will take to it like this. Why? They will see here is a successful person, highly intelligent, who has established something which very few people can achieve in professional life. And now when he talks about Krishna, people will sit down and listen like that. Because there is a person who has succeeded like that in his or her field. So there is no harm in using our success in the material life to be able to preach Krishna consciousness. However, we should understand that our goal of life should not be only pursuing that success. That is where that job, answering your question. We have to really understand that. So Prabhupada condemns the Mammonist philosophy that work very hard and enjoy more and more. And Prabhupada emphasizes that sacrifice is a must. Yajna not directed towards Lord Krishna will only remain as moral codes there is a difference between morality and spirituality. Devotees are not operating on the moral platform. Many times people come and ask us, oh Krishna Bhagavan, I told you, remember, once I was preaching to somebody in my office, he said that, no, I don't read Bhagavad Gita, it's all about war. I am a very peaceful man. War ka books मैं नहीं पढ़ता हूँ, right? Then obviously I had to ask him this question. If someone removes the clothes of your wife on the road, what will you do? He'll say, I'll punch the rascal and kill that fellow. I said, that is what Krishna was doing there. Now why you are complaining when Krishna is doing that? Krishna told Arjuna, the modesty of a woman was being outraged in public. What do you want to do with such aggressors? You have to kill them, right? Remove the unwanted weeds from society. Then whatever you are saying, when Nana Patekar does that on Bollywood, you are clapping. When Krishna does that in Kurukshetra, you are complaining. I don't see violence. Correct, no? Or when Amitabh Bachchan comes like Shahenshah, that Badshah, like that, and he is doing dishum, then he says, "Arey, first class movie tha, maja aa gaya." Satya mein vajayate, truth prevailed. Amitabh Bachchan ne khatam kar diya Amjad Khan ko. Then that becomes movie hit. But Bhagavad Gita doesn't become a hit. You say violence and all that. Obviously the person had no argument. Of course he was a very senior man. So I was finished anyway in the company. Having spoken like that. Anyway. So human life is meant for, so we are not operating on the platform of mundane morality. We are operating on the platform of spirituality. That's a very different level of discussion. And most people non-devotees cannot elevate themselves to this level of a discussion. So human life is meant for self-realization in either of the three ways. Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. We'll talk more about this in the later classes. But in effect, the conclusion of today's class is, while those engaged in sense gratification require purification by performance of yajna, a transcendentalist is above the principles of vice, virtue and morality. Transcendentalist is above all this, and there is no need for such a transcendentalist to perform all the yajnas which is mentioned in the Karma Kanda section of the Vedas. So we'll conclude with just, you can take this diagram, you can picture this in your mind from now onwards. We'll be discussing this in the next many classes. Okay, this is just an introduction for all of you. Did you see this? We have what is called as the extended progressive yoga ladder here. We have the extended yoga ladder and we have the express elevator of Bhakti Yoga. I think for most of you it is self-explanatory. Is there any doubt on this diagram? Having seen this, but still I will explain. Here we have the slowest process, which is what? No, sorry. To the right we have the slowest process. Extended yoga ladder, longest process. From animal life we have started doing Karma Kanda, at least some religion, Sautramani Yajna and this Yajna and that Yajna. Okay? And from there what will happen? Somehow we will get attached to Krishna. By doing that process what will happen? See, here you don't believe in any superior personality. You don't believe in spirit. You only believe in matter. Here you have started believing in spirit. You have started believing in some higher authority, but you don't know who is that higher authority. Here you know who is that higher authority, but you cannot give up your material desires. Does it make sense? That is why it's called Sakama Karma Yoga. From here the yoga process, actually it's a yoga. You have started performing yoga. But to get the yoga process, you cross through this. So come to the Sakama Karma Yoga. Does it make sense? Your question. Yeah. Right? So in one sense, for the slow people this is a connecting process, but this is not required to get here. Right? From here you are actually, Krishna is entering your life. Right? You understand. For example, I think I gave this example in the class. Someone wants Brahmin initiation, right? And then someone is asking, after Brahmin initiation, please give me, Saturday evening aarti, so that then I can give my darshan on the altar along with the Lord. Like that. So the desire is to do the aarti. To that extent, it is to please the Lord. At least he is, But then still, I should be seen doing that. That nicely. Like that. I should be seen like that. Pakka devotee. Like that. On the altar. So there is that little bit desire inside that I should also enjoy along with Krishna on the altar. Okay. So that is Sakama Karma Yoga. So you get the benefit still, because you are still doing a bhakti process at the end of the day. And then Nishkama Karma Yoga. After over here what happens? You are not attached to the results of your activity. Then you move into the Jnana Yoga. This is a slow ladder, please understand. Then you can move into the Jnana Yoga platform, where you are neither attached to the activity nor you are attached to the fruits of the activity. Here still you are attached to the activity. You are renouncing the fruits of the activity, but you are attached to the activity. Now it will not make sense because we have discussed the background. Here you are neither attached to the activity nor the fruits of the activity. But You are accumulating knowledge, and you remain attached to the knowledge part of it. You become attached to the knowledge which tells you that you should not become attached to activity and fruits of activity. Am I communicating now or no? You become very attached to the knowledge that we should not be attached to the activity and the fruits of activity, but still you are attached to the knowledge part of it. Okay? That's why it's called as Jnana Yoga. Over here, and by Jnana Yoga what happens? You are accumulating knowledge and you are realizing the Brahman. Correct? Now, we have discussed all this in the previous classes. You attain Brahman, but Brahman is, you are trying to see the Lord outside. You can't see the face of the Lord. So then you close your eyes and start meditating and try to see the Lord inside. Then you go to Ashtanga Yoga. But Ashtanga Yoga, what happens? You get mystic powers, and because of mystic powers you may come back into animal life. That is the risk. That is why it's called as a side process. Even Jnana Yoga. Why did Shankaracharya write Bhaja Govindam? He says, Samprapte sannihite kale nahi rakshati dukrim karane. Why did he say that? These rules of grammar, this knowledge will not save you at the time of death. It is only bhakti which will save you. So Bhaja Govindam, chant the name of Lord Shankaracharya. So he tried to elevate his Jnana Yogi. That was the final instruction which Adi Shankara also gave. Who is the ultimate Jnana Yogi? He is saying knowledge without bhakti is useless. Like that. Okay, but then Ashtanga Yogis who realize, who try to see the Lord within, they may see the Lord within, but in the process, before they see the Lord, they will start getting mystic powers. So they will start producing ash from the hand and giving it, or gold watch, and people will say, Aap Bhagwan ho. And when people say, Aap Bhagwan ho, unless you are really fixed up, you have knowledge of Krishna, and you are in the mood of a servant, you may start liking it after some time. The people start calling you God. Therefore, you will, instead of continuing the pursuit of Ashtanga Yoga to see Paramatma within your heart, you will start pandering to the desires of people, so that the glories keep coming to you. And that is why that mystic powers can again put someone back into animal life. But a person who can cross this ladder also, then comes to the point of Bhakti Yoga. Where is that said? It is said, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma Na Sochati Na Sama Sarveshu Bhuteshu Mad Bhaktim Lavate Param. Person who has already crossed the Brahma Bhuta platform, it's very easy for such a person to attain Bhakti. But this is the slow ladder. Right? Then there is a progressive ladder. In this what happens? Same animal life, Karma Kanda. In Karma Kanda you are regulated sense gratification. Then you come to Sakama Karma Yoga where you are selfish. You want to give darshan on the altar. That selfish desire is there still. Okay? And then from here, you are directly jumping to Nishkama Karma Yoga. You are eliminating these two layers. Jnana and Ashtanga are gone out from here. From Nishkama Karma Yoga, selfless, you start sadhana bhakti here. After crossing over these layers. Most of us, we can call ourselves in this ladder in that sense. Right? We have come from animal life to Karma Kanda. Right? South Indian traditions. And then from there, we have come to Sakama Karma Yoga, where at the end of a class, we want appreciation. Acha class diya, like that. Otherwise, the mind is not satisfied about that, right? Or after cooking, we want to say, Khichdi bahut acha banaya. Otherwise, dard hota hai. Correct? There is something in the heart. So, Sakama Karma Yoga. And then, coming to Nishkama platform, do sadhana bhakti, continuously. The consciousness of, like that day we discussed, this devotee we discussed, Jagannath Prabhu. Cutting vegetables at the backyard. No desire for any, again, never coming in the forefront, right? And then coming to Prema Bhakti, Bhava Bhakti. So Sadhana Bhakti jumping here. And this is the express elevator. Again, we can say that some of us have come through this process also. From animal life, we have not even gone to Karma Kanda. This is true for most Westerners, Western devotees. Western devotees never know the Vedas. They have not performed, they have not gone to Muttu Mariamman temple with a coconut in their hand. Correct? So for Westerners, what happens? From animal life, directly they have association of pure devotee. Okay, they are with Swami or Gurujan Prabhu or Srila Prabhupada. Right? Some Maharaj they have got. And then immediately they have jumped into Sadhana Bhakti, going to Bhava and Prema Bhakti. The express elevator of Bhakti Yoga. So this is the beginning of Yoga ladder. We will discuss each ladder in great detail as Lord Krishna will start expounding in the ensuing chapters. So we really crossed time today. It's already 1 o'clock. Time for Prashadam. Any comments or anything? Any queries anyone has?
Prabhu, next class maybe you can explain a bit more how can Sakam Karma be yoga, because I thought yoga starts from Iskam Karma. on that one.
Key memory verses.
Yeah, key memory verses. Okay. I have already sent the key memory verses to all your cell leaders, cell servant leaders this morning. So please get in touch with your cell servant leaders and understand what are the verses in chapter 1 that you need to by heart and what are the verses in chapter 2 that you need to by heart. Okay. What I am thinking is, which probably it's my fault, I should have mentioned this in the class before. I never talked about an exam on verses, which is important because it's important for us as Vaishnavas to know key memory verses. When you are sitting in a lecture, nothing is more powerful than giving a Sanskrit verse and then giving the English, because then people know that he is not giving his own philosophy from his pocket. Right? If you say in 15.15, Lord Krishna is saying this, Veda ischa sarvaya raham eva vedyo, I am the source of Vedas, then people will get more convinced than if you say that I heard that somewhere in the Bhagavad Gita also it is mentioned that Lord Krishna is saying like that. You can imagine how the class is now. Right? Correct? So this is the power of by-hearting key memory verse. Or sometimes we may even know it is 15.15, but when we open it, we will read like this, Sarvasya, like that. If you do like this in a class, then what will happen? Oh, public bolega, ठीक है, ये भी अभी पढ़ रहा है. Correct? Whereas if you immediately say Sarvasya Chaham Radhi Sannivisto 15.15, people say, oh, very good. Oh, person पढ़ के आया है. That means, he is really having belief in this verse and he is speaking like that. So please do not underestimate the key memory verses. We are not going to have sloka competition or something like that, okay? Where we can promote each other as to who is the best sloka reciter. No, that is not the intent of Bhakti Yoga, right? But at the same time, shloka has got a place in terms of we being able to be effective preachers, like that. Okay? So please by heart take this shloka thing seriously. We may have a specific exam very soon on only the shlokas. Gradually we will do it. Okay? We will take 2 chapters at a time. So you will not get 50 shlokas, and a target date. Right now I think you will have only 14 or 15 shlokas to by heart. Then we will increase it gradually. So you will not be disappointed. Okay? Srila Prabhupada ki.